NASCAR calls North Carolina home. It's the closest track to most of the teams, and the journey isn't far. But when everyone's home in iRacing, everything's a home track. Tonight, it's round number 7 of the Area Truck Series, and if the goal was to roll a lucky number 7, you better be driving for Miller Racing, who've been dominant so far this season. Tonight, it's 120 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway, an intermediate racetrack, and an advanced challenge in our 7th round of the season. Kyle Heyer joined by Connor Horn tonight. Connor, welcome aboard to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We always love coming to this place. Put on a great race last night with a photo finish nearly at the end after 140 laps. A little bit shorter race tonight, but still should be a lot of fun to watch.
A shorter race is going to mean a crazier race. It's hard to get more crazy than what we saw last night, being in that race, being in the thick of things. I don't know how we went green, but we definitely did. It's going to be a really fun race tonight. It was a little bit of a wreck fest last season. It was the second race of the season for the trucks last year, but Skyerly did take the checkered flag that time. He didn't take it last night after leading all but, I think, 34 laps. Jake Matheson took it from him in the final 3 laps, and he's going to hope to fend off Matheson tonight. Yeah,
Matheson, 2-time winner in the Area Truck Series so far this season. There's the Miller Racing teammates all at the top of the board. Travis Beckner, John Hall, 2nd and 3rd. Brad Slaughter, Nathan Jump, and so on and so forth. But as we trudge along the regular season here, Connor, we have to start looking at that cut line and trying to figure out who's outside it that should be in it. There's a couple of drivers, I think, that we would expect to be well within it based on their experience and performances last season, one of which I believe is the 16. We don't see him anywhere near the top, and he probably should be based on how he ran last year.
Yeah, Tom Bourne, he was great last season, but he is pretty far down the order. He's 21st in points, so he's right outside that graphic. Look who's right above him by 1 position. James Skyerly is 24 below the cut line. He's very capable of winning, but if he for some reason can't win, he better get his points up. 24 below the cut line. About halfway through the regular season. We're going to get a little break here after this week, but he's got to get something going. It was a disaster last week at the Roval, which really put him in this early hole, but you do see the guys above the cut line, Mason Kane, Weishart, Balliet. He's having a great season, as well as Jacob Bell. Those guys are pretty comfortable right now.
Yeah, looking really good. And as far as the teams, it's again Miller Racing, DWR, and Physicus that are at the top and locked in. They are good to go as far as the playoff picture is concerned. 120 laps around here, though, Connor. Last night we got to see a little bit of that new asphalt, the new dynamic track system. I think ours and the driver's takeaway was it changed something. I don't know how confident everyone was that it changed a lot, but what was your impression? How do you think it'll affect the race tonight?
I think it made the top more viable for a longer amount of time. Usually before this phase 1 of the refresh, it made it a little bit before the refresh, you really could only run up there for maybe 10 laps, then the tires were cooked. It seems like the rubber being put down when everyone's running that bottom lane at the very beginning of a race, it makes it way too hot, and you're going to lose grip on that bottom line now if everyone's running in it, which then brings that higher line into consideration. And even with the tire where we saw last night, the setup was not very great. The right fronts wore out very, very badly, so you still had to baby it, made it much more difficult to run that high line. But it did make it more viable for a longer period of time. So we saw it last night. Matheson was able to use it to chase down Skyerly in the closing laps a little bit. So we could see that tonight. I'm not sure how much we'll see of it because we're going to have less horsepower. Might be more of a drafting race, but I would agree with your take on it. Definitely changed something.
Well, here's a look at Michael Curhan's sign tonight. Can we please race at another track? Finally, Horn's Airbnb is starting to smell after 3 weeks. What you got going on in that Airbnb, Connor?
I don't know. It's my actual house. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right, let's head down to the racetrack for qualifying and get everybody set. A big field here tonight, over 30 trucks. David Weishart wasting no time getting out on the racetrack in the number 33 Matco Tools Chevrolet. And, every time we come to an intermediate track with these trucks, Connor, qualifying tends to be pretty much just a flat-out drive to the start-finish. And that means if you don't get a great launch, you're going to try again. Weishart's going to do just that.
He's one of our former winners at Charlotte, actually. 4 races here in the Truck Series, 4 different winners. One of those is not Justin Munsell, but Cameron Hearns won here, Weishart, Skyerly, and Brad Slaughter. Almost all area champions, most of the area champions have won here. We'll see if we get a new winner tonight, or Justin Munsell can put his hat in the ring to be that 5th different winner at Charlotte. A little bit of a different scheme for what I remember on his truck. Looks sporty, as he's, I wouldn't say bundled up for the winter, but he's got a hat and gloves, almost like he is bundled up for the winter, but he's got a pretty smooth line going into turn number 3.
It all looks good for Justin Munsell out of California. You see him working through turns 3 and 4 and right up next to the fence. You're going to get one go at this. Let's see what he's got. Average speed for Munsell, 172.644. It's a 30.3. Drops him only 6. That was not the lap I think he was looking for, unfortunately, as Brad Slaughter Jr. jumps to the top, but is quickly pipped by John Hall.
Yeah, John Hall, he's had a great season so far at the win at Daytona to start it off, and he's been solid in the points ever since. As Munsell definitely not going to be happy about that. 7th out of our 7, make that 7 out of 8. Shane Wolf goes a bit slower himself. A few drivers out right now. We might see some drivers wait, but it's a very cool track. Not what we saw last night, which was a pretty hot track, which that could also come into play with the multi-grooves. Having a hotter track could help, but very cool. 91 track temp, mostly cloudy. That might not get any higher than what we see right now. Is Jacob Bell, who we were also talking about, having a great season so far. He goes into turn 3.
Yeah, Bell right on that blue line at the bottom of 3 and 4. Let's see what he's got this time. Comes out of turn 4, and the lap is a 172.521, 30.34. Also not a lap I think he's going to be stoked about. Ryan Nowicki's just getting rolling. And Michael Curhan is on his lap right now. Here he comes out of 4.
Let's see what his line was. We'll see what the time says. 30.181. I'll put on 3rd, so really good lap for him. Incredibly fast last night on the long run, which is how he got up to that 8th position. I kind of followed him through most of the night, so we'll see what he can do tonight, starting a little closer to the front. The track just mattered a lot last night. It might not matter as much tonight, but you're still going to want to have to get through the field as quickly as possible. As looks like Austin Gapp-Jones 3, 3, and 4 as well.
You know, one of the things we talked about last night and kind of was a bigger factor than I was expecting it was the tire strategy that was played there at the end with Jake Matheson that allowed him to go on and win the race. That was not something I think any of us were expecting, a 2-tire call to be the call as Austin Gapp-Jones goes 4th. Is that a strategy that you could play tonight, or is it going to be 4 tires every time?
I'll be honest, that's the first I've heard that he took 2 tires. Yeah. So that's pretty
worked.
Crazy.
And it
clearly worked. I had no clue he was on 2 tires.
It was all to get rotation. It was just to change the balance of the truck, or of the car rather, not to for any kind of rubber-related performance. It was just to get the thing to turn.
Yeah, I guess I should have thought of that, but I didn't really think of it as an option. But I don't think we would see that tonight. As here comes Scioli on the track to get his lap going. Is his first lap, only lap actually. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be much of a factor. There was just so much fall off last night. The mid-corner speeds got really slow, so it was just a tight setup overall. The right front got killed, so I could see why that worked last night. So smart on Matheson's part, but I don't think we'll see that tonight. I just don't think the tire wear is going to be as bad. Scioli crossed the line, 174.156, and that is, I won't say easily pole, but it's definitely pole for the time being. Good lap.
It is up there. Great run. Colin Fambro working his way out of turn 4, the number 18. Let's see what he's got. And that's a 173.493 average speed. That is good enough for 7th.
Solid lap there. JT Poole just started his lap. A few drivers ending theirs. Sponsored Stafford's actually out at turn 2 in the middle of his lap. He hasn't had a terrible season so far. Matt Murr Designs, Area.Shop, Toyota Tundra. He's all tight to the outside wall before. Everyone's going to be utilizing that paint line tonight. Just gets you that little extra grip. If you can master a Harvick line, you're in a good spot to get a good finish. But you might see that top come in. You'll have to wait and see. Stafford, he comes across the line. That's a 30.169. That's good enough for 7th. A really good qualifying time for him. That puts him back to 8th. Shane Therian just barely put him back to 8th.
Jake Matheson, here he comes. 2-time winner this season and winner last night. 30.095 puts him 3rd. Kyle Sieg just came through, and Sieg just went 12th quick. And then Cameron Hearn, 31.66. Nice. That's P9, yep.
Another one, Dylan Lee just crosses the line, 30.387. That'll put him a little further down, 27th position. Beckner just starts his lap. Got 42 drivers tonight, which is, I'm still impressed that the fields we're getting for all 3 series. We almost have a full field once again, just one short, but it's going to be a wild night tonight with all these trucks on the track as Beckner goes down the back straightaway. One of the first times I think he's actually got the Zoom call up, so
I was going to say,
get a good view on him.
Got a vertical cam here. It's almost like we need to be streaming on TikTok instead, but out of turn 4, here comes Beckner. Here comes Beckner, and across the stripe, it's a 31.83. Yeah. That'll be 13th.
Yeah, you could see on his camera, that was a good timing to get on his view. You could tell he was shaking his head in the middle of 3 and 4. He knew he missed it, just barely missed that bottom, and he had to chase it almost into a wall. So he's going to be starting a little bit behind compared to what he wants to do. Adam Capps, one of those elite entertainment Ford F-150s. He ends his lap 30.195, which is pretty much right around where Beckner was. I think that'll put him about 15th.
Nathan Jump is on track, so is Greg Mitchell. Here's Jump. One of the Fazekas trucks out of turn 2.
Yeah, those Fazekas trucks have been kind of all over the place. Got a winner there, but the points position team-wise, haven't really paid attention to where they are. They are actually 4th. So they got the win, but they sit behind Jacob Bell Racing, who is just outpointing them. Mitchell comes across the line ahead. He goes 26th, and then across the line, Jump goes. He goes 4th.
Good lap there by Nathan Jump, 30.1 on the nose. Jeremy Brown is just getting rolling. Bobby Tinch, Eric Wineland, and Casey Lakatos also owe us some qualifying laps. Makes our field 42 strong. Connor, as you mentioned earlier, just a really good field size this deep into the season. We have to address, and I think we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago, that this series at this state last year, as far as the quality of the racing, there was just a bunch of yellow flags and incidents and cautions every race. We are just rocketing through the season along with such a great quality of racecraft, huge fields. They've really stepped it up this season. It has been a blast to watch.
Well, let's knock on wood, we don't jinx it. This race had 8 yellows last season. It was, like we said, part of that early season stretch last year for this truck series that was just really rough as Weiland comes through turn 1 to start his lap. But yeah, the racing quality has been astounding, and across all 3 series for the most part. We only had 1 dud. That was the Milwaukee Mile, which really no one had experience on, so it's not surprising that that's what happened. Fully caution-free race last night was really surprising. Everyone was surprised to see that, but grateful to see it, considering how even the Cup race went last year. So we'll see if we can get something similar tonight, as Wyman will come across the line with a pretty smooth lap, and it'll be a decent lap that puts him in the top 10.
Yeah, with 31-34, that'll get him just inside the top 10, 9th place. Jeremy Brown working his way through 1 and 2 right now.
Might end up being our last qualifier. If you want to get a time down, you probably got to get out there now.
Yeah, I think so. Bobby Tinch, I don't think... Bobby Tinch has already made a lap start, so Casey Lakatos would be the only one that could run a lap, but he will not have enough time to. Here comes Jeremy Brown, last qualifier of the night. Let's see where it lands him. And it'll land him at a 172.971 average speed, 30.263. That'll put him 28th. From first to 39th is about a half second, Connor. That is impressive.
Yeah, it's just incredible seeing how everyone's separated. It's about just over a 10th from first to the 10th position, and then it's about 0.2 of a second from first place all the way down to Garrett Grant in 27th. And that's incredible because Garrett Grant, I think, finished top 5 last night after driving through the field, so he's going to have to do the same thing again. Yeah,
quickly looking at the session results there. There's your top 10. Bryce Senesac sneaking into the top 10 as well. JT Poole down in 20th. He's got some work to do. Same with Travis Beckner and Michael Curhan. Both those drivers, Curhan in particular, ran very well last night. Brad Slaughter, as you mentioned, 22nd, Connor.
Mason Kane in 30th as well. He's kind of had an up and down season in the truck series, but P30, that's a big hole to climb out of. Mitchell as well, and Slaughter is a former winner here. He's going to have to get something going as we get to the final few drivers in this field. Matthew Rodriguez, one of those racing tonight, qualified about 34th as qualifying officially ends.
Yeah, so before we get launched into this evening's events, of course, we have to remind you to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. So before we get into the night, Connor, take me through the strategy for this evening. As far as our fuel window is concerned, it looks like it's going to be about, let's see, 120 laps. It's going to maybe just try to split it down the difference, you'd think?
I think it's going to be close. We were almost able to go 70 laps on a tank of fuel tonight, but it's going to be, I think, a little tight to that 60-lap range again, but I do see a lot of people going to try to stretch that. The fuel, you're going to be on throttle a lot with how cold of a track it is tonight, so we're going to see a lot of on-throttle action, wasting fuel, so it might be tough to get to that 60-lap range, but I would not be surprised if people try. We saw Kwame Scott try to get to 70, which was halfway last night. Did not work out for him. He ran out with about 6 laps to go, so it might be tight, but I think we'll see people roll the dice.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't seem to work out for Kwame Scott at all last night. He had to give up so much pace over the course of the run that I don't think it was worth doing, but maybe tonight you've got a little bit of a shorter race that it could probably work, but I think you're going to just try to make this race as simple as possible. We could get some yellows, too. That was a big unknown last night. We thought we would get yellows. We didn't, Connor. But as we get down to the racetrack to kick things off here and get our Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup, there is just a lot that can happen in the next hour, which is what this will take us if we go green from start to finish. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. All right, let's get through the starting lineup, but it's because it's a big field, Connor. Let's make our picks first so we don't run out of time to do that. I'll start with you.
I'll go Jake Matheson. I think he's more out ahead of everyone in the Truck Series than he is the Cup Series. I think the Cup Series is much more tight at the front with him, Scioli, and Jake Nichols as well. But I think he's got more of an advantage in the truck, so I'm going to go Matheson.
All right, well, I think I'm going to go. I need some points, so I got to go with a conservative bet. I'm going to go with James Scioli tonight. Starting on pole, he's going to be the one in victory lane. I just got to make some points up, both in the series and in the Cup Series.
Because mine was conservative. Mine wasn't conservative.
Well,
yeah.
you know, I happened to pick one that was starting a little better, but we'll see how it pans out. Let's get through the Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. Let's kick things off with our front row. It's James Scioli in that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, the number 7, alongside John Hall in the 03, Connor.
And then the 52, his teammate and dominating the trucks. He dominated the Roval last week. It's Jake Matheson in 3rd. And he's alongside our Vegas winner, Nathan Jump, in 4th.
And starting in 5th place in row number 3, it's going to be Tom Bourne in the number 16, desperately looking for some points. Samuel Fontaine starts 6th in the number 71.
A good qualifying run for the 71. Weishart, a former winner here at Charlotte. David Weishart will start 7th. Shane Therian will start 8th.
Row 5 is Eric Wineland in the number 21 Chevy. Then it's Bryce Senesac starting 10th in the number 09 Tundra.
Ford F-150 of Cameron Hearn. I believe he has a win here. He starts 11th alongside Bronson Stafford, who had a good qualifying run in 12th.
And 13th place, it's Colin Fambro in the number 18. Then it's Michael Curhan rolls off 14th in the number 24.
Travis Beckner starts in the 15th position alongside Xfinity Series driver Kyle Seed.
And then in 17th and 18th, it's Adam Capps in the number 05. Austin Gak-Joan in the number 41.
Ryan Swan, the HyperX Chevy Silverado, starts 19th. JT Poole is going back and forth, trying to warm those tires up. That cheese doesn't work. He starts 20th.
21st place, Gary Waterworth in the number 12. Brad Slaughter Jr., 22nd in the number 8.
Powerhouse Racing Silverado, it's Jason Dalton in the 02, 23rd. Justin Sogak, 24th.
And in 25th place, it's Sean Peachin in the number 69. Joshua Balliet, 26th in the number 07.
Eric Grant, 27th. He got to the top 5 from back there last night. Jeremy Brown will try to follow him through in 28th.
And in 29th place, it's going to be Greg Mitchell in the number 2. Mason Kane starts 30th in the number 31.
Danny Ware in 31st position. Justin Munsell, surprised to see him back here. He starts 32nd.
And 33rd place, Jacob Bell in the number 77. Matthew Rodriguez, 34th in the number 51.
Dylan Lee, another Silverado, starts 35th. Joey Chapman to 60. And the TRD Tundra starts 36th.
37th place, Mark Brannigan Jr. in the number 98. Then it's James Shanewolf, 38th in the 01.
Ryan Nowicki, the 39th position. Our last qualifier on time is Ben T. Pierce in 40th.
And the last row of trucks is going to be Casey Lakatos in the number 50. Bobby Tinch starts 42nd in the number 66 machine. Here we go, kicking things off from Charlotte. It's about time to go racing from Charlotte Motor Speedway, round number 7 of the Area Truck Series. 120 laps, about 1 hour of run time. Let's see how things pan out tonight from NASCAR's home track. Green flag flies, and we're underway from Charlotte.
Almost had a snack up there. Hearn had to jump out of line.
Side by side into turn 1. 3 wide already with Curhan on the high side. Not wasting any time here, Connor, in the opening moments.
That was caused by Hearn having to jump out of line. He got to the inside of Wineland. Something happened on that bottom line that really shifted things, but they got through it. And usually goes silent lap 1. Couldn't do it there, but Scioli's clear to the lead.
Little slide there from the 16 of Tom Bourne. Ooh, a little wiggling and wobbling. Eric Wineland sideways out of turn 4.
Yeah, really slick already, which is kind of surprising because we thought it would be pretty gripped up. But these tires, they still take a little while to get fully, kind of into their rhythm. So that might be a part of the struggle for him.
Scioli leads. Matheson's right behind him down the back straightaway. Thunder is roaring here at Charlotte. And it's still pretty frantic up here inside the top 10. There's Sam Fontaine up the road on the inside of Shane Therian, who's not wasting any time in the 38 truck.
Yeah, both these drivers are up a few positions already. Therian's up about I think 3 or 4 positions already, so he's had a good climb. And we got a crash in the dog leg. Someone hit the wall.
Oh, Greg Mitchell.
Hard.
Oh, that's a huge crash in turn 1. Gets
Brannigan.
absolutely clobbered.
Mark Brannigan Jr. Gosh.
That was a huge impact there for Greg Mitchell.
Wow. That was a violent hit.
Let's go back and see what happened here. Simrat Market replay.
Side by side with Jeremy Brown.
Oh, he gets hooked.
That looked like a little neck code, and then he did not hold the brake,
Oh,
and Brannigan
my gosh.
had nowhere to go. That is a terrible hit, and Casey Lakatos might have had big damage in that as well.
That is an enormous impact. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time. Oh,
the barrel.
He caught there's actually the blunt end of that wall behind that barrel, which is what it's protecting right here. Gosh, that's a huge impact.
That's reminiscent and there's Lakatos bouncing through there. Yeah, that's similar to what Wineland hit at Milwaukee. If you think a few weeks back, maybe a month, you can see he had nothing he could do. Greg Mitchell just comes all the way down the track, not holding the brakes, which is questionable. But you could also argue he's just trying to get off the track surface. But
Casey Lakatos' view.
Oh man, he looked like he got clipped, but on the live shot he doesn't have much damage. But he was Bobby Tinch, who's all the way behind it.
He was doing everything in his power to stop, and he just could not.
That horrible hit. That is somehow is worse. I didn't think it'd get worse than Wineland's hit, but that is easily worse. That was horrible, as these drivers will come down to check damage, as Tinch has front end damage. Not sure how bad, but Brannigan and Mitchell almost certainly done, as Jeremy Brown also got left front damage out of that hit with Greg Mitchell.
I have a feeling that truck isn't going to go anywhere. Greg Mitchell's doesn't look quite as bad, but I think where he took the damage in particular is going to be a problem. Took it right to the rear wheel, which is going to throw some things off. But first caution, lap number 3 out of 120 here, as we now working lap 5 with Scioli leading, Matheson second, then John Hall. So this is the points battle here. The Miller Racing trucks, Connor, they are clearly the ones to beat, Matheson in particular. But Scioli is just so good. It's going to be a fight between those two trucks, I think, for most of the season.
You would think so, but Scioli's got to get back in the fight to get in that top 12 first. He's a little bit behind after some lackluster finishes, but definitely you would think it would come down to these two. It could come down to these two in both the trucks and the Cup Series. Matheson doesn't run Pro Series, but the 7 truck is definitely going to be fast. As look at JT Poole, he could also be in that battle. Very fast in all the series he's able to run. I think he only doesn't run Cup, but he's exceptionally fast. As you were talking about the cat that you were petting earlier, Kyle, he's got one on his own. Yeah,
he's got Ricky Bobby back there too, looking over the shoulder, keeping an eye on things. That's mine is sleeping. I would show you mine, but I don't want to awake him here. But got the 1 to green already, quick yellow. We'll re-rack him and restack him and go again to the restart here.
Yeah, definitely going to try to get some more laps in. It was a frantic start with that inside line having an issue. Leader has to go on green in the initial start instead of that restart box. It's probably what caused it. People trying to anticipate. We'll have the leader go on his mark in that restart zone, so we shouldn't see that happen this time, as we only have 2 drivers off the lead lap. Unsurprisingly, Brannigan and Mitchell not getting back going, but Bobby Tinch did get back in the race, so we'll continue with 40 trucks.
Truck looks, all things considered, not so bad after that big crash.
See how he can continue, just nowhere to go. You think you're running at the back, you're safe. You're just never safe at tracks, especially tracks this tight. You got room to the bottom, but there's really not much room at this track to mess up.
Cars rolling into 3 and 4 here, getting set for the restart. Got cars trained in my brain. Trucks.
I know.
Every
it's
time.
Tough.
Every time. All right, time to get restarted here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's Scioli and Matheson on the front row this time. And the flag is in the hands of the starter. Let's get this thing back underway. Lap 7 of 120 here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. sound of the trucks back up to speed at the top of fourth gear. And it's John Hall slots into second place ahead of Matheson, but Matheson goes right to the top again.
He's going to get it worked in early on. He's going to waste no time. Last night, he ran the top in one, but cut it down at the before the exit too. This time, he was on it the entire time, and he got a run, but he won't get to the inside of John Hall, but he does clear Theory and keep that third position.
Sam Fontaine on the outside. David Weishart's up there as well, trying to find some speed on the high side. Now, Connor, tell me about the dynamic track changes. Is it something that you would notice in a 120-lap race with a 40-truck field, or is it something that is subtle and would take a longer race to really feel kind of act against you?
I think you'll feel more in a longer race, but you're still going to feel it in this 120-lap race. This Scioli's just going to give John Hall that top side, but you will definitely, we were feeling it last night, that race, that bottom lane, everyone was running it early on. Then once the track kind of, got heated up, that line lost a lot of grip. It was tough to hold that bottom line without getting maybe a little sideways, even with how tight of a setup it was. But you will definitely feel it. That line will definitely heat up tonight for sure. It might not be as much of an effect as it was in a 140-lap race, but we'll definitely see lines switch up a little bit depending on how this setup reacts for this truck.
Down the back straightaway, John Hall tucks back in. He's got Matheson now to the bottom of the track. We're side by side for about a lap. And here's Sam Fontaine also kind of trialing that upper groove to see if it's got momentum and speed and pace and so on and so forth. There's Therian, who is up further and dropped back to fifth now. Then Tom Bourne sneaking into the picture.
Bourne, another one who needs points, up close to the front. And Fontaine's has some good qualifying runs as of late, as Hall has a run to Scioli. Scioli's just going to take the top this time. But Fontaine's had some good qualifying runs as of late, and he's really making it work so far. Got into the top 5. We'll see if he can stay up there, as he's going even higher than Scioli.
Yeah, now Hall's got the bottom.
Whoa, crash in the back. I think that was might have been the 0-1 of Shane Wolf, or maybe his teammate Aliette, but like 0-7 might have had a slide.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that a bit later as the battle continues for the lead. See if Scioli can rip this high groove here and have the momentum on the back straightaway. That's what Matheson did last night to defeat Scioli, was use that outside groove late in the race. But John's got the bottom, so how is that going to be early on when the grip might still be down there?
I think you got to use the bottom now. I don't really want to go to the top until the long run settles in, but you're not going to make a lot of passes on that bottom line. The guy in the top can just pinch you to that bottom line and get the run off to just clear you back. So the only reason Matheson got by Scioli by just slide jobbing into turn number 1, that's what won him that race. It's going to be tougher to do that with less horsepower. You're not really lifting into the corner that much, so that slide up move, it's going to be hard to do, as he got scrambling down the back straightaway. Nathan Jump is one of those. Tom Bourne maybe hit the inside wall. Didn't even see him go off track, but he's got big left front damage.
Yeah, something had happened to the 16. Here's, he crowded the 4, and Hearn just didn't lift, and then into the inside wall. That's definitely going to hurt.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, Bourne was clear, but Cameron Hearn had the run. It's just hard to make that decision, and somehow no yellow through that. And Hearn's, Tom Bourne's not going to be happy about that. We stay green. The battle for the lead continues. Hall gets to run off the top this time, and we'll see if he tries to slide Scioli. I don't think he'll do it.
Well, you don't have to really lift on the outside going into the corner. You have to lift at some point, just not early on. So you can kind of maintain overlap if you got someone to your inside, just because you've got more straight racetrack before you have to turn. So Scioli is able to defend this pretty well, but John's going to need a better run than that. Now Matheson sitting in behind waiting to pounce.
And Matheson probably the best spot. These two are racing hard for the lead, and once they're done racing for the lead, they've worn their tires out. Matheson's going to pounce and probably drive away from these guys. I wouldn't be really surprised, as Matheson's just sitting back, probably trying to push his teammate by at some point if he can. These two are dead even, not giving an inch, as Fontaine also keeps looking on.
Well, what a battle up here for the front. Nobody giving in. Now is Matheson going to try the outside? He does not, so he's going to just sit back here and wait for a resolution. All the while, Therian and Hearn are side by side. Hearn's going to run the 38 up the road a bit.
And seeing that move, he'll use the same move and hopefully not get wrecked. But this is for the 5th position. Hearn's trying to get by, and he went to that bottom line, as this is the second side-by-side battle at the front. Carhan's moving up. He's to the outside, or passing the outside, and Nathan Jump. Bronson Stafford also following him through, as now Matheson gets to the bumper of John Hall to push him almost clear. He might push him clear into turn number 1. Yes, he will.
That's going to do it. So is Scioli going to be able to respond to this on the outside? I don't think John can cover it all the way just yet, so that Scioli's keeping it alive here, keeping the ball in play, and back to the outside again.
Yeah, John Hall was clear, but not clear enough to the point where you would go up in front of him on lap 17. I think if that's 5 to go, he takes that room, but not right now, not worth doing it. Plus, he's got a teammate to push if he really wants to. As almost, I thought we saw 3 wide in the back. Yeah, they are. Nathan Jump, Stafford, Senesac, they're 3 wide into turn number 1.
Ooh, that's going to get tight. Jump's going to push here. Stafford's trapped in the middle with nowhere to go. Out of 2, down the back straightaway. There's a touch there, and looks like Jump has to filter back in.
Nathan Jump's trying to be the aggressor. I put him 3 wide like 3 times in the first 30 laps last night, so he's trying to be the aggressor tonight, but it's so tough to keep it down there and keep momentum to stay 3 wide and actually make those passes.
Oh, trouble behind him. Crash.
Senesac.
Jump in the fence.
Just as we're talking about it, look out, more crashing. Looks like Shane Wolf went around, but everyone else is through.
Second caution of the night. And Senesac and Jump, I think, was the first truck to go around. Let's have a look at the Simrat Market replay.
Yeah, Nathan Jump gets the worst of it just talking about them, but they were out of 3 wide. The Senesac looks like he gets tight.
Oh, a little netcode there.
Netcode.
Yeah. Oh, man. Same situation. Someone getting crowded out of 4 and just kind of getting dragged across the road. I mean, that's a bad spot to get turned.
Yeah, another dogleg incident, and the first incident was netcode ruled netcode as well. So that's 2 in a row, and that was pretty big. And somehow, thankfully, everyone gets to the bottom in time. You got that AstroTurf to use. Like elite teammates in those F-150s maybe got together, but no damage there. Nathan Jump, like we said, gets the worst of it. You could see, look at that space. A lot of space goes there. You
know, usually I think netcode is used too frequently to say that was an incident that happened, and a lot of the times I think that because the crash was going to happen anyway. I don't think that was going to happen without the netcode. So that one was truly a real netcode incident. As trucks are on pit lane, it is a very busy place down there, Connor. What's the strategy behind this?
Just taking tires straight up. This makes it apparent and 100% certain that you'll go one more stop to the end from here. And there was tight between Hall and Scioli. I don't know who got that position, but tires were worn out at that point. These guys were driving them pretty hard at that point, so I don't see any reason to stay out. You stay out, you're getting sent to the rear pretty quickly. It was a decently sized drop off, 30.3s. to about 31.5s. The follow-up was actually about 1 second in that short amount of time, so you were not going to stay out on that set. And it should definitely be easily one stop from here.
Casey Lakatos rolled through his box, as is typical with his strategy, so Scioli will cycle to be the leader. Then it's Hall, Matheson, Therian, Fontaine, Weishart, Hearn, Curhan, Slaughter, and Bronson Stafford, the rest of the top 10.
A few other drivers behind there. Kyle Seeks up a few positions from where he started. Adam Capps, Travis Beckner. Beckner thought he'd maybe drive through a little quicker, but maybe not the speed he showed. He was not that great last night as well as re-energizing is Eric Wineland. He's one of those drivers who's actually fallen a little bit backwards from where he started, as well as Nathan Jump. Even before the crash, Nathan Jump had fallen back a decent bit. He'll likely be out of this race. Is Justin Munsell, another driver we're going to be looking at tonight. He's also not really made as many inroads as we thought he would.
Yeah, only up to 26th from a starting spot of 32nd, so I don't think that progress has happened as fast as he would have liked it. So we've had a couple opportunities so far. After a caution-free night last night, we've had a few early moments brought to you by the Simrat Market replay. Race fans, head over to simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple and easy to use, so it keeps you more focused on the racetrack. simratmarket.com. Well, while we've got a second here, we've got nothing happening on the racetrack for at least another 2 laps. I need your help. So right now, effectively, in the SimTV studio, I've got just some SRO stuff on the wall, but I need to basically give this a backdrop. Now, my plan was to do some wood paneling here and then do 3D printed logos, one for the series and then a SimTV logo over here, and then downlight them. But if anyone has any other ideas, put them in the chats, because I would like to know what everyone's thoughts are on that to trick out the SimTV studio. You have any thoughts?
I don't have any ideas. If I do, I will get back to you, though.
Yeah, the idea there is, I live in Chicago. I got an apartment specifically for the purpose of having a SimTV studio, so I could build out a space dedicated for it. And now I just have to decide how I want to do it. So that is the whole plan.
think the wood paneling would be actually a good vibe, so
yeah,
do
I mean,
something with that.
I'd probably do it. I don't want to do like, you know, the gamer LED panel things. I think those are, you know, used enough. I also don't need to do more sound panels. I have those on the right of me, so I don't really want to make that the whole style either. So, but either way, let me know. Doubling back up for the restart here. So Scioli's going to choose the bottom. Then it's John Hall to the outside.
We'll see if drivers start racing each other, maybe a little bit more, you know, maybe a little bit more space, because the netcode's been a little bit odd tonight. That was pretty big last one. I don't think the first yellow was as big, but maybe something these drivers in the mid-pack, not really at the front, they'll race hard regardless. Maybe the drivers in the mid-pack might start thinking about a little bit.
So coming to the restart now, and again, we're going to get a little bit of a reset on the action here. So Nathan Jump is out for the night, it looks like. Greg Mitchell and Mark Brannigan Jr. Will join him on the early plane home. Tom Bourne back on the racetrack, 1 lap down. Everyone else is on the lead lap. And here comes the leaders out of turn 4. Pace cars in. Lap 23 of 120. About to get underway here again from Charlotte. And there goes the green. Outside lane didn't go very well. Back underway.
Yeah, John Hall did not get going. Therian, just like the last restart, immediately gets to that bottom line, and he'll just follow Matheson through to try to get that 3rd position, but looks like Hall's going to be able to get back to the bottom. Seems like 3rd place is the place you want to be if you're not in the lead. A 2nd position driver just usually doesn't get going.
Good Dave Weishart on the high side now here. I wonder if that's the place to be on the opening lap after the restart, just because you don't have to check up. You can just kind of maintain your flat throttle all the way around and maybe pick up some spots. But when you're not at terminal velocity, I think you're going to want the shorter distance versus the longer distance, faster speed.
Yeah, I think definitely on a restart, you need to be off that bottom line. It's kind of like a super speedway race can be at the end of it. If you're on the bottom line on a restart, you're very unlikely to gain positions. You're going to kind of be stuck down there, so you need to be that top line. You just need to have versatility to be able to go whichever way. Is I think Weishart's using that to his advantage. He's in the battle for 5th now as Matheson Scioli wrap the bottom. Matheson's pushing hard. Now he goes to the top side to try to get that run out of turn 2, and Scioli's going to have to drive hard through 1 and 2 on the bottom to try to counter that run that Matheson's going to get. I don't think Jake will get there, as he's going to break draft even a little bit here. What is this, the Indy 500?
As they did last night, going back to battle. And I think Matheson showed Scioli the playbook last night as far as that last lap and what he was willing to do. Remember 3 and 4 last night. Jake tapped the brakes a bit to make sure Scioli could not maneuver around and carry the run all the way through the corner. Here's Kyle Seek, JT Poole battling for 13th place.
Yeah, 2 drivers just trying to get through the field. JT Poole's actually done a great job. He started 20th, and he's now in that battle for that 13th position, and he's going to use that top side to his advantage as well. Further ahead, Beckner Slaughter doing battle. That's for 9th. But Slaughter gets back in line as Cameron Hearns utilizing that top line. He and Weishart did battle, and Weishart lost out. And Hearn got by Theory, and now he's at the outside of John Hall.
Weishart moving forward in the 33. Going to kind of drop in behind in 6th. Now singling back out, clicking away laps. This race is going to go by pretty quick if we go green at any particular point. Look at this battle back here. Jason Dalton, Eric Wineland, Ryan Swan. This is a real mess.
Big mess, and that's usually where the crashes have been happening. They got to sort that out as Matheson takes a look to the bottom. I think Scioli tried to shut it off. Now Matheson will go to the top side, and Cameron Hearn's going to go even higher than Matheson at the front. But look at this hornet's nest that the 6 of Munsel's in. You see all these drivers all over the place. You don't know what's going to happen. You also don't know what's going to happen with those top 3 as Cameron Hearn's chase these 2 down, and they are driving away while battling for the lead.
Yeah, Matheson's on the bottom now. Look, Cameron Hearn's going to throttle up, and he's going to try to shoot the difference here out of turn 4. Working lap 29 this time through. Matheson on the bottom, Scioli in the middle, and Hearn looks top.
Going to give Scioli a little bit of a shove, a little bit of advantage for the driver of the 7. And Matheson's going to have to try to pull this pass off on the bottom if he wants it. I don't think Scioli will give him that top side as frequently, but both of them will clear the 52. And where does Hearn go now? Does he shift bottom? Nope. He wants that top side.
Down to the bottom in 3 and 4. Everyone following suit. John Hall just watching these front three scrap. Travis Beckner, Curhan, Fontaine in the battle for 7th. Here comes Curhan to the inside of the 71.
We're seeing those better drivers, or usually more consistent drivers, start to get to the front. And Fontaine, he was running top 5. As those drivers find their way to the front, Fontaine's starting to fall off just a little bit, just trying to stay inside the top 10. Now as Curhan got another run on the top side, but no move. He didn't really make a move for the lead as Curhan stays side by side with Fontaine. Now Fontaine's really the only one on that middle groove in the top 10.
He got within 700ths of Skyly, but that was as close as he got. He's going to have to try to figure something else out. Top, bottom, different lines in 1 and 2 here. He's going to go middle this time and look at the run he's going to build. He just needs to get a little overlap, and then he's going to have this.
Yeah, he has the overlap too. Skyly, he was on his right rear, and now the 7 can't really defend it. You could see Jake Matheson, he's playing tire strategy here. He backed off these 2. He knows they're going to race hard to get this lead for the track position. Matheson just kind of let him go, I think, just trying to save his stuff for a run later in this run. And he'll probably try to chase these 2 back down eventually, as Hearn's going to go maybe for the race lead, just can't clear Skyly completely. And now Matheson starts to reel them back in, maybe just trying to get Skyly. I think he wants to get the positioning on Skyly more than he does Cameron Hearn, but Hearn's in the lead regardless.
Yeah, the trucks tonight so far, when they're side by side, they almost look tidally locked. Like you have to kind of push through a bubble to get around completely. They're a little magnetic and sticky. Once you're alongside, they can just side draft you back into their clutches. So that's going to be a challenging thing to navigate tonight as well. You have to really take a big run with you if you want to get the pass done in one corner, which is critical later in the race when you don't have time to sit around and try to make passes. You got to do it quick. Here's Brad Slaughter Jr. Started 22nd, running 10th. The 8 trucks going forward. You're right behind Travis Beckner.
He's behind Beckner, he's on 15th and 9th, but the 8's definitely doing a better job getting through the field. But he might just be trying to follow Michael Curhan through. He's been working over Fontaine, but can't get by. As Fontaine, meanwhile, gets the position back from Therian, so maybe they're going to be ganging up on Therian. This is kind of what we saw last night. When one person gets pinned to that bottom line, you might see, on newer tires at least, you'd see drivers go around them on that top side. But also at the same time, that top side is used for defending, which Fontaine was able to do well against Curhan, and now he's switching to using it for offense. So it's kind of why that top line, it's a little bit better now, because you can be a little bit more versatile with it. It's not just for defense right now. You can actually set up and make your moves in that middle to top group.
David Weishart working the long way around there at John Hall, slots himself into 4th. Then Beckner and Curhan doing battle again.
Curhan on the top side, just trying to get to the front like he did last night. Beckner pinned in behind the 38 with the 24 on his outside, is ahead of them. John Hall tried a higher line, but he won't get back to Weishart. He will get a run, actually go back to the bottom up ahead, as these 2 side draft each other, racing hard, and Slaughter's just trying to hope one of them go forward.
Watching Travis's wheelbase there, I'm not sure what it's stuck to, but it's shaking around. Oh, a little bobble there from Curhan.
Yeah, bobble there. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead's back on. Hearn's been running that middle. He never went back to the bottom, surprisingly, and it let Skyly get back there last lap into turn number 1, and now they're battling for the lead again. And see what Matheson does here. He's got the top side watching both of them, and I think he wants to get by Skyly.
Oh, they're going to turn each other. Into the fence goes Matheson.
And that might have been even more, I don't know if that was more neck code, or but that might have been actual contact, but I think Matheson got the worst of that.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to tell, I think. That was
there's
a little bit of net code there.
Yeah, that's, I don't know what's going on, but that's 3 times in a row where I don't think the contact would have happened.
Yeah, the same corner of the truck, too.
Yeah.
That's close quarters racing for you. Down the back straightaway, they're still doing it. Beckner's sliding sideways. He had a huge slide out of turn 2.
I don't think he wanted to do that, but he completely chopped Curhan. We got a crash in the back. Caution's out.
Oh, big crash.
Big crash. That is Danny Ware in one of the trucks, and Joey Chapman maybe is the second.
Joey Chapman. Let's go back and see how this transpired. I think it's going to start here. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. This is really weird, but that was Sean Peachin, and no, Danny Ware just spun to avoid. Lakatis, Spambro, Nowicki all got sideways trying to avoid, but I don't think there's any big damage there to many drivers. That at least there, maybe this would have happened anyways. Let's watch these drivers. Yeah, they kind of came together.
They would have crashed anyway, but it's the same corner of the truck. That's so weird. I have never noticed this happening before. at least with this much frequency, but maybe it's just the way that Charlotte tonight is racing. But again, there's about 6-7 inches. They would have crashed regardless, so it's not like that code caused it, but that's interesting.
And what's interesting, we got tire strategy. A lot of the field pits. Jake Matheson is on an island. He does get Gary Waterworth to come with him, but that is the only driver to join him on this island.
It's going to be a lonely feeling out there, isn't it?
Yes.
So the goal there, I think, is to save the tire sets. Anticipating maybe more yellows later, which I wouldn't bet against based on how things have been going tonight.
Yeah, definitely he's going to be in a little bit of a bind, I would say. The fall off that, it was already once again about a second to fall off. But he's in race off pit road. Looks like Hearn's going to get him, and then Skylerly Hall, Weishart, Fontaine. But yeah, definitely trying to game plan to maybe save a set of tires. But with a short race like we have in the truck series, it's hard to game plan to save a set when it's more likely where you're going to just not use a set. We might come to the point where everyone in the field might not use a set, so you're really just saving an extra set at that point. But we'll see if that works out for him. He needs the yellows to fall really specifically.
Well, race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. Well, about a third of the way through this race, we've had a couple of pit stops, a couple of accidents so far. Connor, it's been a wild one so far. What does this leave us as far as an outlook for the rest of this race? I think we're going to see some more yellows, but what frequency and how many?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe 4 to 5 more the way it's going. The hitboxes on these trucks, I don't know if it's the hitboxes on these trucks or just the iRacing servers, because I remember seeing a few months ago that the overall pings of everyone just had a little bit higher for some reason. Maybe that's causing a factor in this. I'm not completely sure, but either way, this is a track for the trucks that requires, close quarters racing. So I don't really expect these drivers to change the way they're racing. Therefore, I think we're going to see a lot more right rear to left front contact happen, which would cause those yellows. We should have had a yellow the lap before with the top 3, and somehow they all survived it, even though we did see on the camera a few laps ago, Matheson does have that right front damage, or right side door damage, but I don't really expect it to clean up because there's not really many drivers going out of the race as a result of these crashes. We have only 3 drivers of the 42 out, so it's going to be aggressive for the next 80 laps as well, so I'm not sure if this is really going to change the way the yellows start falling.
So just to recap kind of what we had seen so far, the first accident of the night came back on was at lap number 3. And this was Greg Mitchell and Mark Brannigan Jr. This was a really big crash right here in the middle of the straightaway. Gets hooked into the outside wall, comes back across the road, hits Mark Brannigan, or Mark Brannigan hits him and then gets thrown across the racetrack violently. That was a big accident. And then later we had this one down the back straightaway with Josh Balliet here having a big moment.
Yeah, this is the one we actually didn't get to see yet. He went into the door of Dalton, Balliet, and they kind of just all came together. It was a great save. That's the first view we had of that, but everyone got through somehow.
Here's Tom Bourne following this group here into turn 1. It's got pretty dicey here for a moment as they were battling for the top spot. A little bit later, Bryce Senesac. This is half a lap prior. Coming into turn 3, watch him go to the high side here, and as they come out of the corner, right here, Nathan Jump collides, tags him, and around they went. And then most recently, Joey Chapman down the back straightaway there gets involved. 49 went around as well. But all that aside, we are about ready to get back underway. Jake Matheson is your leader, but he has 21-lap-old tires alongside Gary Waterworth. Everyone behind him, or Mr. Feelgood's fresh off the press.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very tight, a really, really tight run for Matheson if this goes along and doesn't really end up being a quick. And if we don't end up having a quick yellow, it's going to be a tough run for these two because the fall-off's pretty big, so they are going to have a tough time once they get in dirty air, really handling drivers going left and right of them. Matheson's going to be in a bind as well as Waterworth.
Well, just past the 1/3 mark of this race. If it goes green, it's 40 minutes of racing. Let's see what we've got left in store here tonight from Charlotte. Matheson on the inside, Waterworth on the outside, but Hearns the first on 4 fresh tires. Green flag back underway here in the Area Truck Series from Charlotte.
Matheson got away, Waterworth did not, and everyone's going to the bottom who can just to try to avoid that 12 truck. Looks like Hall's going to be clear, Scioli will get cleared. We'll see who takes the lead first. Hearn big run off the bumper of John Hall, and he'll easily get this lead, I would think. John Hall's going to have to go by on the inside as well, and you can see how much slower the corner speed is for Matheson. Scioli's going to be boxed in out of 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, crash. Garrett Grant out of 4. Big crash again. We didn't even make it a lap. Grant, Valiette, Tinch is in there. Jeremy Brown, big damage. Huge crash in turn 4.
Wow. Caution's out again. There was one truck went down pit lane.
Is that Swan? Yeah, it was Ryan Swan, and he actually avoided it doing that. Well, he has some left rear damage, but most part all clear.
Yeah, Grant just gets sideways on his own, and then it just creates this stack up. Oh man, look at some hits that got taken here.
Yeah, Gak Joan had nowhere to go. Just when you have someone spin like that out of a corner, especially with the wall on the bottom, there's a track blocker. Pierce, there's Swan who got that big hit for Gak Joan. Valiette, Brown, nowhere to go. Lakatos and Famer might have done a good job getting through that, but just absolute track blocker when it happens at that point on this track.
Yeah, looks like Joey Chapman almost was able to miss that. Again, involved in that most recent caution before. Here's what he saw at the very back of the pack here. It just feels like it's a conservative place to be, but you just can't stop all the momentum all at once. There's the wreck. There's Swan going down pit lane, and then almost had it missed.
Just couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And I don't know, Ryan Swan almost killed the barrels on the end of that pit wall, but somehow gets away with this relatively unscathed, I think. He does have a big hit there. Watch how close this is. Oh, man.
I would take that. And you have the wall saving you from getting hit again, so that was actually pretty lucky, all things considered.
And the front end honestly does not look too bad, as those drivers who get damaged will have to come down. Jacob Bell was in that too. We talked about him earlier, how good of a season he's been having. 7th in the points coming into this week. He might drop if he can't fully repair that.
Stark contrast to last night. We went flag to flag with no yellows. And where are we on right now? 4? Yeah, 4 yellows for 10 laps of the 44 that we've completed. 4 leaders, 9 lead changes. Been more competitive than we've seen last night already.
For sure, as we're probably going to have a few more leaders by the time this one's over. I think John Hall's led a lap. I don't even think Matheson's led a lap. I don't remember. Oh, well, he did. He was restarted first, but plenty of drivers who are going to be capable of winning this. And we'll just see. Look at this from Ryan Swan.
We're requested to see that rear cam off of Swan. It's tailgate cam on this truck, so wasn't as close as maybe it could have looked, but just wild moment there for 20.
I just still wonder why that wall's even there for ovals.
Yeah, is it there in the real world? I feel like it's not.
Pull up a video. I don't feel like, at the same time, there's no fence in turn 3. I always thought that was fake, but there was no fence in turn 3 for the longest time. They had just changed that not too long ago.
They finally put in a fence?
Yes.
Gosh, I always wonder what would happen. But
yeah, I don't really want to.
No? At least they took the grandstands out of that area.
Yeah. Not like they have been getting used as of late.
Who was I looking for? I was looking for somebody.
He was in the crash?
I don't know. I was just looking for somebody, and I just on the timing and scoring, and I can't make up my mind who it was supposed to be.
Not Mr. Chapman, Hearn?
No, no. I don't know. My brain was in one place and my fingers were in another.
I found the video from the 2023 Coke 600. They do keep that wall there.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's probably the only mile and a half. It's got to be one of the few mile and a halves that do that. It's not even a full wall because of the oval.
I would say that the impact zone I'd be worried about is not there. It's further down on the front straightaway from issues in the tri-oval or the quad oval. Not necessarily right out of 4, but they must know something we don't. So,
theory would I guess it would make sense if it went all the way down to the pit exit, but it doesn't. It's more like a quarter of it.
Yeah,
a quarter of the pit road that it goes down.
Well, we're going to get another one to green. There's a look from high above Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this is going to be, other than we've got, how many more shows we got? So we've got, tomorrow we've got the DC Region SCCA. They're doing a fun race at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca with the Radical SR10.
Ooh.
So that's what we're doing tomorrow, Connor, you and I. And then I think we're doing a pair of short races. And then on Thursday, we've got the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. And then we are off until the first week in January. So we're going to take that entire stretch between December 22nd and January 2nd or something like that. So,
2nd or something, yeah.
Longest break I've had in a while. But there is no break. I'll be doing plenty of stuff in the background to get this booth all configured. Got an ACC live stream to do on Thursday as well prior to the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. So that'll be on the SRO Motorsports Twitch for Fanatec GT World Challenge America. That'll be at Watkins Glen. So that'll be kind of fun to watch. I'll be on board or with DJ Clark in that one, and we're going to have Santa hats and elf hats. They're shipping them to me. It's part of the gig.
They get there in time.
They will tomorrow. So
good.
Anyway, coming back to the restart, lap 47 of 120 in the Area Truck Series. Cameron Hearn's your new leader, and he's off and away. Sun's back out too, breaking through the clouds.
Yeah, we'll see if that changes anything, but I don't think it will. We'll have to look at Matheson and Waterworth still on those older tires. Crash, turn one. Ryan Nowicki was the first one I saw turned around, and more piling in. Ben Pierce, Chapman again. We didn't even get the turn one this time.
Wow. Nowicki in the 74.
He was the first one I went around, but he actually doesn't look too damaged. We'll see how this one panned out, as everyone got away well.
I wonder if Balliet gets into the back of him here or something. Oh, what?
Oh, is that more neck code? Balliet and Peachin? Oh, Chapman hit that wall hard.
Get a closer look at this. So watch Balliet and Peachin.
That's another one. That's just, maybe it is these hit boxes. I had a conversation in our Discord chat that we have during the race.
That is too much. I mean, it's a foot.
That's a lot. I wouldn't think it's hit boxes.
No, it couldn't be, because the new damage model, the whole idea is
to prevent that.
Right. Yeah, this is net code. It just happens to be the same. That's very weird.
Yeah. I don't understand, but it causes Chapman to get destroyed in this one. Ben Pierce got a big one as well. It might have finally finished that 60 truck off.
Watch the 20. He is getting real good at dodging these things. Watch this.
Yeah, look bad even from that on board. Oh, he's the unfortunate culprit of Joey Chapman's hit, but he's away scot-free.
And then, yeah, watch the 65 here in the background.
Oh, Jeremy Brown pile drove him.
I think Joey Chapman got hit like 3 separate times. 1, 2, maybe more than that.
Oh my goodness. Jeremy Brown just flies through there. And Porton Bourne is still repairing damage from his incident with Cameron Hearn. Gets even more damage to repair.
So a lot more trucks on the pit lane getting some services complete. And Jake Matheson's tire strategy not looking all that silly now. He's still third. And the rest of the field has now put 10 laps. Now they're mostly caution laps, but they have put 10 laps nonetheless on their tires.
I suppose it is working out and saving it, but with all these cautions happening, everyone else is not going to use their next set of tires for a while, and it might not end up really mattering. It might just end up hurting if we get a long run. He's still not in a great spot, but obviously his bed's made. He can't lose. He can't go back to 30th something position if he pits now. It's just, he had to assume more people would stay out with him, but I'm just shocked that a gamble like that when you're already in probably one of the top 3 fastest trucks in the race. It just seemed a little bit surprising that he even did that.
Checking in on Michael Curhan to see how things are going over in that camp. Looking pretty good. And then JT Poole.
A good view of his right side window. Good view of his cat.
Eric Wineland just popping in on all those that have joined us this evening. Ryan Nowicki, saw him just get turned around. Of course, we got Travis Beckner's on board tonight.
got the helmet in the background.
And then Justin
The
Munsell.
stick.
And then if
He's
we
got
want
a shoe
to,
rack in his background. Whoa.
how about that?
Oh, that's I think a lot of our viewers are happy to see that.
I want to do that again. That was cool.
Oh no! You
Oh,
lost
what if I
Ryan
turn the
Nowicki.
graphics on? Hold on, this is gonna.
Never-ending Sim TV.
That's fun.
Yep. Look at all that weather. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't know you could do that. It's nice.
Well, the power I hold as we head back down to the racetrack. And just closing in on halfway in about 10 laps time. Checking in on the race stats. So
Fifth
far,
yellow.
yeah, 5th yellow. Still lead changes holding steady at 9 lead changes with 4 separate leaders. And having a look at the weather, it's cooled off the slightest bit from the drop of the green.
Yeah, just probably getting either 2 or 1 to green here, as with these last 2 races tonight and in the pro side, rounding out what I keep calling the month of Charlotte, which is I think partly what Curhan is hinting to with that Airbnb. But yeah, it's been a few. We started. I think the first race was that All-Star race, which was I believe won by Jake Nichols on all green, white, checkered, and then the Roval, which we saw a lot of action there in all 3 series with Scioli, Matheson, Beckner mixing it up really all throughout that week. And then obviously with the oval race, we already saw a good one on Monday, and we're looking at probably 2 more good races. We could just get some green flag running in here. We're creeping up on halfway.
Yeah, as far as your month of Charlotte claim, just having a look at the schedule, we ran the All-Star race, which that would have been on the Monday, which would have been 12. That would have been December 4th.
Yeah.
So
The 4th.
December 4th, and it's now December 18th. So that's 3 straight weeks to Charlotte, and then of course we're not going to be back after this week in December. So our next race will be on January 8th at Darlington. So it's going to be a while. Actually, might be our first broadcast back here on Sim TV. Be the 8th.
We also got the charity dirt race. I don't know if that's going to be on Sim TV.
Oh, that will
not.
be. Yes, good call. That'll be on January 4th, I believe.
I still don't know what track it's going to be at, but it's dirt late models. I lobbied for Sonoma Rally, but I don't know if it's going to be. I don't think that's going to be picked. I have a slight feeling.
I love that track. We did that with the trucks a long time ago in the 3-wide series, and that was a blast. Lap 52 of 120 here at Charlotte. Cameron Hearns, your leader. John Hall to the outside. Green flag back in the air, and we're back underway.
Again, good jump for Hearn. He's clear. Matheson will maybe get clear of John Hall for second. How long will it last? I'm not sure. Still 20-lap older tires. And him and Waterworth are still going to be struggling if we get any sort of green flag run. This guy was going to try to get to his inside before they get to turn 3.
Scioli down to the bottom of Jake Matheson. And we'll see if he can keep that momentum carried and get back up to the 4, but he cannot, so he'll slot back into second. Matheson's going to give him a shove, unsettle the rear of the truck down the front stretch.
Yeah, they will get him closer to the inside of Hearn. In fact, Hearn went to the top to run it on his own, and now Scioli will get that bottom line, and he might even clear the 4 off of turn number 2. He does, swoops in front of him, but Hearn, with the crossover move, gets back to his inside.
That was a power move there by Scioli. But Cameron, if he can't clear Scioli here, he's going to run into some trouble. He does, but now the crossover again from the 7. 3 wide in the background as they sort it back out.
Yeah, they split Matheson. John Hall just had to get by, which he does, and now Matheson's going to be in a bind if he starts falling back with green flag laps, as these two still go side by side for the lead. Looks like they're 3 wide. Waterworth, they're splitting him back there. And Scioli could not clear high on the 4 this time.
Great battles, and again, it's almost like they're tidally locked, magnetized to each other. You just can't quite keep the clear. Out of 4, Hearn's got the advantage, but slightly.
Just barely able to keep overlap in turns number 1 and 2, as looks like that almost few contact in the mid-pack, but he's still going to go at it for a while, and now John Hall is going to apply that strategy that Matheson was going to the longer run before. He's going to let these two battle, and if their tires were out, we get a long run, he'll be in the catbird seat to take this lead.
Looks so similar to what we saw with Scioli and Matheson earlier in this race where just no one could land a decisive blow here. Look at this 3 wide with Slaughter in the middle out of turn 4. That got tight and dicey. Shane Therian, JT Poole, Jake Matheson's, he's back in 12th, by the way. He slipped big time the last few laps.
Yeah, and this is why I'm just shocked he even tried this decision. Just no gain out of it because you were already top 3. And now he's going to go outside the top 15 soon. So he's going to need a yellow, get some tires, and just hope he can climb back through this field. His chance for a win's depleting with this call.
Yeah, again, I think there is a world that that strategy might have worked. I don't know that we're going to land in it tonight.
It's tough because it puts him in a really bad spot with these drivers passing him, putting him 3 wide because no one wants to get caught behind him. It's Shane Wolf in the middle now and Kyle Sieg on the bottom. Just, it puts you in a really tough spot. And now he's might even be outside the top 20 after this lap.
Hearn clears Scioli again, but for how long?
He's going to go to the bottom this time. He had not been doing that before. He stayed to the middle, and then it let Scioli get back to him a few runs before. This time, he might try to take, oh, we got a crash in the back, and it's trying to see who that was. Caution's
Tom
out.
Horn is slow, so is Danny Ware, and a couple of others. I didn't see who was the most turned around.
That is, I think Matheson will take his tires now.
So where did this stem from?
Ryan Swan 3 wide up there. Oh, Ryan Swan gets turned up ahead, I think. And it looked to be left front to right rear again. There was a quick trigger on the caution as well.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it even flew. Oh, it was the 12
of
Waterworth.
He was on old tires as well.
Let's see how this landed.
Oh, they almost wrecked here. Look at that with Bobby Tinch and Dylan Lee.
Ran their patience thin here, and then I think it punched through. So watch, right? Oh, the 20 pulls up, gets into the 25, into the 12. The 12 is the truck that triggered the yellow. They got it all straightened out, but the 25 also got a short end of the stick there, Dylan Lee.
Yeah, not much he could really do there as drivers hit pit lane. Jake Matheson pits, unsurprisingly, just needs to get back on fresher tires, but finally, it didn't seem like we had an incident caused by big neck code. That looked like it was going to happen either way. It almost looked like Ron Swan might have thought that they weren't 3 wide anymore. Definitely could have contributed to that, but I think everyone gets away with that one at least, as we're going to cross halfway under yellow here with Cameron Hearn still leading and obviously leading most of the field and staying out. Looks like Ben Pierce gets the lucky dog.
Yeah, as far as the way the season has gone here, let's have a look, a reminder again of the Truck Series playoff picture. Where's Cameron Hearn on this?
He has only ran 4 races this season, so if he wants to get into the playoffs, he has to run every race for the rest of the season and probably win a race. He's down 42nd in points, only 1 top 10 this season, so it's going to be a big boost to his season if he can get something going here. You still got Scioli in 20th, Tom Bourne, who was in that crash in 21st, Wineland's 22nd. JT Poole's only 24th in points as well. Didn't even talk about him pre-race, but he's further down the order than we might think as well.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because if Cameron Hearn wins this race, someone else in this list doesn't. And when there's only a finite number of races and those numbers are dwindling every week, those race victories can be very, very important, and you have to be able to pounce. Another truck we didn't really mention a lot tonight was Mason Kane. Is he still running? He was here.
I don't think he's been in an incident. He's 14th, actually,
there he is.
30th.
Yeah.
So
he was having some connectivity problems, which has kind of been the story of some of his season. But he's a driver that could, he's in a pretty decent spot, but he's one of those drivers that could use a win to launch himself in. But he kind of needs a night like Cameron Hearn's having, where he's just running up front, and 14th isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, but even if Hearn wins, I don't think anyone inside that cut line will be worried.
No, but I think it's a matter of taking a win away from someone that could have otherwise stolen it. Not that he's going to bump anybody out. Kind
of similar to what we saw. I forget who won Atlanta's Pro Series race last season after the Scioli DQ. I can't remember if it was Dawson Miller or Jacob Hudson. One of those two ended up taking that win, and it kind of stole a potential win away from someone who could have used that to get into the playoffs. So
exactly my point. Yeah.
Yes, I can see what you're seeing there. Hearn could definitely. It's funny because it's an upset, but it's not upset. He's 42nd in points, but it's Cameron Hearn. He's one of the top. He's probably one of the top 3 all-time winners in Aria's history. So not too much I think someone actually just said in chat it was Jacob Hudson. But yeah, Hearn's one of the guys who's always usually competing for wins, unsurprisingly. So it's hard to say it's an upset. If it's
Mason
Hearn.
just commented, I started 30th. I think he's saying to cut him a break, but I don't disagree. But yeah, still got some work to do. Doing well, though. I mean, making up spots. It's always a good thing when we check in and the lower third says that your highest is where you're currently running.
Jacob Bell thinks I'm talking about Talladega. Sorry to cut you off. Jacob Bell thinks I'm talking about Talladega. I was talking about Atlanta. It was when James Skylerly got DQ'd after, I think he turned Justin Munslow, and I think he turned someone else. That was in Talladega. I said Talladega. It's not Talladega on the brain. Atlanta always got crazy finishes. But that was definitely one of them.
Also, Mason, stop texting while driving. You're going to be the next guy to drive into somebody under yellow while you were typing in chat, which I've seen before.
And Michigan last year, maybe.
Yeah.
We saw a lot at Michigan last year.
So officially past halfway now. Leaves us about a half hour of run time remaining if we go green to the end.
I figured that. Philip York was the guy who won that Atlanta race.
I remember that.
Not Dawson Miller.
JT pulls up to P11. Documented Brad Slaughter's climb, as well as Travis Beckner in the 28. Remember, he started this race in 15th. A bit of a slower climb, but he's now from row 3. This is about as close as you need to be really be a factor.
Yeah, but the guy under him, Sam Fontaine, started up at the front, and he's been able to stay inside the top 10. We saw a few weeks ago he qualified up front, kind of fell back, but he's kept it up there for Powerhouse this race.
All right, so time to get back rolling here. Lap 62 of 120. Cameron Hearn in the green and black number 4 Ford is your leader and is the control truck for this restart. Where's that restart zone? Right underneath us here at Charlotte, and into the restart zone we go. Cameron Hearn brings us back to the green.
As good of a restart for Skylerly as you can get from second, but at the bottom line, when you're not really lifting for the corner, the first 2 corners, you're not going to fend off third place. So Hall's going to get the second, and he's going to have to run on Cameron Hearn this time for the lead.
Down to the bottom, opens up the door here. How many trucks can you get through it before it slams shut? John Hall vying for the lead, then David Weishart cracking the podium spot here on the 7 if he can complete this pass.
I think it's a few former winners from Charlotte in this pack right here. Hearn, Weishart, Skylerly, all winners here, all battling for the lead. John Hall's just trying to add his name to that list as we got tandem racing at Charlotte down the back straightaway.
Look at the 28. Beckner's into the show here. Ford, Toyota, Chevy on the outside. Toyota, Chevy, wow.
Chevy, Toyota, Chevy on the bottom.
Gosh, it's a mess up here. 64 laps in, and now here comes John Hall again with the 7 pushing behind him. Beckner's gone to the bottom, and Eric Wineland making his first appearance in the top 6 tonight.
Yeah, he got a great run on the top side on Beckner, and Skylerly's going to kind of block that, but also just get around John Hall, which is what I think he's trying to do, and link up with Weishart here just to try to work together, maybe get by Cameron Hearn, but Hearn's comfortably running that middle lane, not letting anyone to his outside. I think he knows it's going to be tough for anyone to pass him on the bottom, so he's going to keep that line to be his own.
And he's doing just that. Getting a little spicy back here. We're 3 wide. Matheson's part of it. Valley out on the bottom, and then that is the 18 of Fambro in the middle.
We're really going to have to see. I don't think Matheson's tires are fresh enough to really make that much of a difference, but he does have to utilize this run big time to just get the track position back. He lost so much track position from that strategy call.
JT Poole is in the middle of this right now. 12th place, started 20th, and look at the Hornet's Nest he's got to contend with.
Look at, oh my gosh, it's a Hornet's Nest there. Matheson's still trying to put people 3 wide, even further behind the 26 truck. It seems like the first 3 laps, the battle for the lead is almost like a pack race, but after those 3 to 4 laps, it starts to widen out once again, and we get, more calm racing. But I would say anything behind Eric Wineland is not calm whatsoever, as they're 2 by 2, like 4 rows deep.
And here comes Skylerly up the inside of Weishart here for second. All happening still behind Cameron Hearn. Watch the 7 kind of waddle up the hill there.
trying to keep the left rear just to side draft the 33 back a little bit, but doesn't do much in the trucks as it does in the Cup car, and he'll stay side by side for second. Hearn could go to the bottom, maybe conserve tire, but he likes that middle line as he got him to the lead when I stopped.
Bronson Stafford up in 8th place, just ahead of a pretty wild battle for P8. And Justin Munsell has made his way to the front inside the top 10.
And he's at the very back of this pack, just trying to, I think, survive at this point. Not too far behind him is Jake Matheson, who's just getting to these guys, but it's going to be hard work to get through all these guys as Scioli and Weishart, they got tight on each other's doors. Weishart just got the right rear of the 7 and almost caused a crash as Hurd gets a little bit of a gap.
Something we haven't really seen tonight is a leader pull away. I think just fundamentally it's going to be a challenge with the way these trucks are drafting and running the different lines. Getting away is going to be challenging. But if you do, and you get the field strung out, I think we could go green to the end, but you just have to get past that critical 20, 30 lap run stage or to a green flag stop, whichever comes later.
Man, they almost came together again there, but now Scioli's in a bad spot. He's got a line of trucks on his outside trying to get by him. Weishart's clear of him. Now John Hall's going to try to get around him.
And Travis Beckner is going to line up out there as well. Remember, Beckner and Scioli had some run-ins last season, a couple seasons ago.
And last week.
Good point.
Almost looked like Weishart really checked up into turn 1 to maybe hold the 0-3 back and also maybe save his tires. But I think John Hall realizes that he's trying to go groove above, but it just seems like that third line, there might not be much going on up there. Got a little of a run, but really not much. He almost lost the position completely to Scioli as they're still mixing up behind Wineland. Curhan and Therian are side by side for 11th, and Jake Matheson has gotten by all those guys somehow, and he's almost back into the top 10.
Watch the 4 into turn 1. Look how high he got. Right up against the outside wall, almost too close for comfort there, but made it work. He still has the lead. Turns down to the bottom though.
Yeah, takes it a surprise. Weishart's running that middle as well. Herm might just be trying to guess where Weishart's going to go to put dirty air on his nose, but I'm not working well so far as Wineland and Slaughter do a little bit of a blocking to the outside wall. That's for 7th at the head of this pack, and there's Jake Matheson just trying to get that third lane going to get to the outside of these guys, but Oxton behind Curhan for the time being, but he is making time up.
John Hall just snapped to the bottom out of 4, whipped that thing to the inside, goes up underneath Scioli, and Beckner's going to turn down to follow. Bit of a freight train forming behind Wineland right now, and this might kind of bottle the field up in a way they don't like.
Well, there goes the train. Slaughter got off it. They're going to door a little bit there. These two are in a heated battle right now, but looks like Slaughter is going to try to clear. Look at Matheson all the way to the high side just to get to the outside of Curhan. Curhan's not going to let him do that, though, and now swoops the over-under move on Curhan. Just not getting a lot of room for these guys right now. Can't blame them. Slaughter did clear Eric Wineland. Now JT pulls to the bottom with Slaughter.
Matheson is just slicing and dicing any opening. He is going for it, and he's up now into the top 10. 9th place, looking for 8th on JT Poole. Goes to the AstroTurf with the left front tire. And Beckner and Scioli side by side, as they were last week in this area of the racetrack on the opening lap of the Roval race.
There was no left-hand turn into the Roval this time, so you wouldn't think contact happens, but we've seen things get tight with the neck code we've seen tonight, but they're clean this time, right behind the 0-3 of John Hall, who's gotten up to 3rd. I really didn't think Matheson's tires would make that big of a difference, but he's about 2/10 faster than all the leaders ahead of him, so this might not be as tough of a challenge as I thought it would be for him. He's about to get the Sam Fontaine for 6th. He's way to the top side again.
See Travis glancing up there, checking the mirrors, but he's not clear, and he tried to get up there and couldn't.
I tell you what, that's Eric Wineland's a cork in a bottle. He gets popped, it's going to pop everyone. It's tight back there, and they're 3 wide. Water, there it is. Senesac into the wall. Waterworth around. Just as I say it, the caution comes out.
Caution out for, I think, the 6th time tonight. Waterworth gets turned around again. And Senesac has also had a number of incidents tonight where he got collected. Let's see how this one started.
Matheson came over to radio saying you guys are the worst. I think he wanted that to go green. See what happened. They were dooring each other before the corner. It looked like
Kyle C.
Therian. It's like Therian checked up and might have caused that to kind of accordion. We'll see here.
Yeah,
Watch Therian to 38.
Oh, right there. Then The 09 lifts, so then Kyle Sieg gets into the Senesac and turns him around.
And Waterworth cuts off Swan, just trying to avoid it. Nowhere for him to go. Swan gets chipped, and Jacob Bell gets sandwiched between him and Senesac, and might have gotten the worst of that, him and a 09, as everyone comes down pit road. No strategy this time.
So, now what does the 52...
He has to pit.
Yeah, wasn't able to fully realize that strategy. So effectively, he just lost 5 or 6 spots for no reason, and
yes.
50 laps of progress time where he could have gone forward, huh?
Yeah, if that went green, I don't know what the fuel situation would have been, but he would have definitely probably gotten to the lead with the advantage he had. But now he's back on the back foot a little bit. Has to get these spots back straight up, as we'll see the race off pit road. Sean Peachin stayed out, but I don't think he'll do that.
Oh, look at Weishart.
Scioli didn't go. Did he get speeding?
Oh, man, no way. James Scioli in pit lane, and you see the time ticking up. And yes, it's a speeding penalty for James Scioli. That is going to hurt. And you're running out of laps now. We're closing in on 40 laps to go. We saw how long it's taken some drivers to make up 15 or 20 spots. And with the frequency of yellows and the challenges around that, could he get caught up in an incident back here in 25th?
That very easily could, but I don't even know if it's kind of weird. Like, usually if it's speeding, I feel like you'd have a bigger stop. But
the stop,
I don't know.
It was.
I mean, obviously it had to be something. It wasn't a pit stop.
26 seconds. Was he was leading? No, he wasn't. It was the 4. I was trying to think if maybe there's a penalty for passing the pace car before he hit pit lane. But it was about 12 seconds added to the stop.
I saw the speeding penalty would be given out differently. I don't think there's holds under yellow. That's the thing. So I think it had to be speeding, and he's just letting everyone go. So
yeah, maybe.
Just how did he get speeding? I mean, that's
what other penalty
really
could you get? A commitment
mistake.
line violation? I don't think that would.
Not here. There's a wall, so no way.
Right.
That's just, it has to be speeding. It's such a unforced error, and that's kind of been just how it's been going the last few weeks for him with the error, the incidents last week at the roll and now speeding. That's going to put him all the way at the back. And meanwhile, Sean Peachin actually hasn't pit yet, and I thought he would, but his pit road's closed now if he didn't roll down like Casey Lakatos always does, so he might actually just stay out here.
Oh, it was getting damage repaired is what it was.
Oh, we did have the incident with the 52 and the 4. I didn't know if that was worth.
No, I wouldn't have bothered
repairing.
with that. No, that's bizarre.
All right.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I don't know if Matheson even repaired his. His was right side door damage, and I don't even think Cameron Hearn got damage out of it. So, yeah. With 40 laps to go, too, I'm really shocked he repaired that, if that was the case. Yeah,
so either way, that's going to bury him quite a ways. So Sean Peachin, I think, is going to restart our race, which is going to create inevitable chaos around him. So this is going to be an interesting watch.
Yeah, we saw earlier with the 52 and the 12, that does not work. His tires are at the max, about 15 laps old, so it will not be much better than what we saw the last time this happened. So everyone on that bottom line, or everyone who's in his line, is going to be frantically trying to avoid him, and it could cause even more chaos than what we've already seen, as we'll get the restart with 41 laps to go, and he will be the control car. And I would say Weishart, with the way P3 launches, he would be in the catbird seat to maybe take this lead.
Oh, man. Well, if we haven't had enough action tonight, we're about to get plenty more. Race fans, well, it's almost winter, actually. But before you know it, winter is going to be on top of us. It hasn't yet gotten icy or snowy, but give it a few days. Bundle up this season with shop.areairacing.com and shop from our selections of champion hoodies, jackets, and sweatshirts. Easier to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. That's shop.areairacing.com. You know what we should do? People asking for SimTV merch, which they were asking about earlier. I haven't done it in a long time. Maybe we'll do a shop.areairacing.com collab.
Oh, now you're on to something.
Yeah. What that really means is I don't have to do anything. And I'll get a check.
Always got to think about the check.
Well, $4 maybe, but it's a check.
I have a hat. I could sell my hat. but I got it for free, so that would be nice.
All right.
I think I have the hat. I don't know where it went. But
I
know
more.
I have it.
I have a few more of those laying around.
Oh, good.
Lap 80 of 120, 41 to go. Peachin is the control truck in the orange and gray. Green flag, and we're back underway from Charlotte.
He got away, but not as much as I thought he would. Maybe that damage on the door is hindering him, so Weishart's actually going to stay boxed in, and John Hall might be the guy to take this lead. All depends what Peachin does out of turn 2.
Oh, we're 3 wide with the 71 in the middle, and we're 3 wide for the lead. Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't blame Weishart. Cannot waste time behind someone on older tires. Now Peachin's got to be careful. This is really going to hurt Cameron Hearn being on the top side. And watch the 52 of Matheson just going to shove the 28 by.
Travis Beckner trying to shove his way forward now. There he is. That's really dicey.
Oh my goodness, I don't know how they survived that. They're 3 wide in the back with Garrett Grant falling backwards. He might have stayed out with how slow he is. They're going to stay 3 wide for second. John Hall, he's trying to block 3 lanes at once, maybe give Beckner draft at the same time, but he will keep the lead and clear as Hearn's going to be stuck on the way top line. I don't think he wants to be this high on the track. He's losing control of this race, but he does not. Oh, he's into the wall a little bit.
Oh, gosh, there's a big stack up out of 4 as well as Peachin almost got into the fence.
Yeah, Peachin struggling now. Now everyone in the midfield is going to have to get around him without making contact. But Hall clear for the lead. Weishart and Beckner are going to be side by side for second. Then JT Poole and Hearn. Really going to be Beckner and Hearn side by side for third.
Yeah, JT's getting hot at the right time here. Climbing his way to the front. I think Cameron Hearn's going the other way. I think he would like to get this lead back and be back commanding.
We got a spin in turn number 4.
Gary Waterworth
around. Might have saved it. Might stay green.
He did, and we will. Oh, more trouble. The 33's in the wall. And Hearn's spinning. He saves it, but the 33 did not. Caution is out.
And Swan had a drift and saved it again. That was tight. In the turn number 1, it looked like it. I don't know how Cameron Hearn saved that, but looked like Hearn tried to squeeze 3 wide top. I don't think David Weishart's going to be happy about that, but look at that save.
Was it Hearn or was it the 28 on the bottom? Let's have another look.
Let's see. No, there's... I mean, Beckner comes up, but that is Cameron Hearn forcing the issue for sure, trying to get to the outside right there. When there's, Weishart thinks he has that shut off. Hearn barely gets to the right rear. I cannot blame Beckner for coming up like he did. And Weishart just got nowhere to go.
I just want to see how far alongside he was. I don't think he was really far enough where he could lay claim to that. It's just hard to get an angle on that. But.
No, I mean, like I said, Cameron Hearn definitely forces the issue there. We know how much he's valued that outside line, and he was barely on the right recorded panel. David Weishart just over the radio. He can't wait for that to be called netcode. Not surprised he's not happy about it. Very aggressive move from Cameron Hearn.
Yeah. Yep. It definitely burned Weishart the most there. But, I know Weishart was being a little sarcastic with that, but watch the contact here between the 28 and the 33. What? No, maybe there wasn't contact.
Not much there. Not this time.
No, that was that's
an incident.
That's effectively contact, yeah. So that's the first time we've actually seen one where there wasn't significant netcode. Significant is the key player there. We've seen a little bit of it all night.
It's a shame because he was up at the front and finally got to the battle for the lead when it mattered the most, but going to be in a really tight battle now to just try to get back through the field. Cameron Hearn put in the text chat after Weishart's comment, he put, "So sorry for racing you hard."
Oh, man.
Classic Cameron Hearn and David Weishart. Those two butting heads is great for area. As,
it's like a short track, right? I mean, it's just drivers already lashing out.
This is definitely the bullring of 1.5 miles, no doubt in my mind. This is just, for some reason, a track. It's not too roomy, but you do have enough room to race. But something about this track, the banking, the way it races, it just causes people to go crazy. And this is why we usually expect to see a lot of yellows at a track like this. It's what makes Monday night just a complete outlier. It's because this race, in this track, in this series, produces cautions almost always.
Was it Larry Mack or was it DW back in the 2010 All-Star, maybe 2010, 2010 All-Star race? The one with Kyle and Denny?
Oh,
he put him in the wall.
Yeah, that was him. Oh, you got copyright, you can't say that.
He put him in the wall.
Yeah, that was Kyle and Denny, but they are teammates. They are teammates like they were 2010.
Yep. Oh,
yeah, the year before was Jeff, Kyle, and that Newman. That was crazy enough. Someone better keep Weishart away from Cameron Hearn after this race.
Yeah.
I can't say what Kyle Busch said after that,
No,
because I think it would get you demonetized.
It probably would. Whatever we just said, Travis Beckner liked it. Or somebody else said, but.
Oh, they have a blast in their channel all the time.
So doubling back up, we'll expect 1 to green next time by.
We'll have about 33, 34 laps left.
Yeah, and then as far as those that are out and those that are still running, we started with 42 trucks. The drivers that are out and done for the day, Joey Chapman, Austin Gack-Jones, Nathan Jump, Greg Mitchell, Mark Brannigan Jr. David Weishart, I imagine, is going to join that as well. He's only a lap down, but he's been on pit lane for a while. He might, no, he's still in the truck, so he might get back out. Gary Waterworth is heading back down pit lane, but the other 35 are on the lead lap and still running.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Weishart tries to get back out there, and I wouldn't expect him to do anything to her, and I don't see that's not really in his repertoire. But how hard of a hit he took into that wall, it's going to take a while to repair, and he is kind of in a points battle, I guess. I don't even remember. I don't think he's one of our winners this season. Yeah, he's not, but he's 5th in points. So without the win and potential new winners, every point matters. So got to try to get back out there, as that was ruled a racing incident.
Travis Beckner giving us a wave.
Giving us a look. Looking at us. Look at me like that. Gotta be smiling.
Hold on. Bring that back. There he is. No, he walked away. Dang it.
I see someone back there.
No, we got to let him have his moment. Oh, door
Only
closed.
can rewind.
I
don't think he even knew he was on camera.
The timing didn't work out, but
I don't think he knew he was on camera.
No, he did. He looked in there and gave it the wave.
Good enough. He got on camera.
I've really enjoyed this bringing in onboard cameras. It just brings so much more life. Reminder that these are all real people driving from around the country in different places in different time zones, all coming together on a Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night to race. JT Poole getting after it. Who's that guy?
I don't know who that is. He's not racing.
No.
I know that.
There's
not tonight.
Eric Wineland. He's going to restart this race in 7th.
He's having a fun time as well.
Yeah,
he's having a good
everyone's
run
in a good
as well.
mood despite.
Yeah, it seems like it. It's really weird.
Despite the chaos, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Beckner's in a good mood because he's the highest he's been. This is his opportunity to maybe get this lead away from John Hall, but he's got to deal with Matheson, his other teammate, too. All these three, it always comes down to Miller Racing, doesn't it?
Sure does. 33 laps to go is the race distance remaining. John Hall is the control truck. Green flag back in the air. Good launch there by the 03 and the 52 of Matheson.
Yeah, Beckner got away well, but I don't think he'll fend off Matheson for too long, as Hearn didn't really stay on the bumper of Travis Beckner that time. Who will get clear of Cameron Hearn, as they'll be side-by-side for 3rd, not White. They'll be side-by-side for 5th, and Hearn and Fontaine.
Look at the 26 truck at Poole trying to roll that outside group. He's got Cameron Hearn behind him, who's going to be hunting hungrily here for the rest of the night.
Poole's just trying to control both lanes, not let anyone do his outside or inside. He also got to shut off Cameron Hearn's move. He might move to the middle, though. Hearn looked, but nothing there. Just got to push the 26 through. Look at this move by Poole to get under Beckner.
Yeah, JT Poole is going for it into turn 3, down to the bottom of the racetrack. You see big steering correction there. Oh, this is not going to work. No way.
Oh, he got barely chopped, and now Hearn's in the rear bumper of Beckner. I don't think he wanted to get chopped, but I don't think Beckner had much of a choice there, because that was, was gutsy by Cameron Hearn, but he's going to go right back to that top side to try to get to his outside, just not working as well in the middle of 1 and 2.
Beckner wants to keep hold of this spot. He's going to have to be aggressive with maintaining that outside lane. You can't give Cameron 3/4 of a truck width, because that number 4 Ford is going there.
Well, he had no choice. He had to chop JT Poole. If he was stuck in the middle again, I think Hearn would have gotten to his right rear, but he had to completely cut off his teammate, and he's got a gap on the 4 now. Now it's a battle for 4th.
Eric Wineland, Sam Fontaine, and there's Curhan and Mason Kane up into 10th now.
Brad Slaughter.
Green's rising to the top. Here comes Beckner.
Looking to the bottom, maybe giving draft to JT Poole, but just trying hard to fend off Cameron Hearn, who's led most of this race. Fast truck, but losing control of this race. He's going to have to fight to get it back the next 30 laps.
Mason Kane up to 10th place, started 30th tonight. His progress is finally showing promise here in the tail end of this race, but how much further can he bring this 31?
Have to see here as Cameron Hearn's going to shove Beckner down the back straightaway. He got cut up in front of again. He is all over his rear bumper into 3, with just nowhere to go with it as they both go down the track. As the Hornets' Nest is really now 8th on back with Curhan and Slaughter at the beginning of that one. The very back of that Hornets' Nest is James Scioli, who's still trying to recover from repair and damage. You can see him just on the right side of that screen.
18th place is Scioli. He's just got so much ground to make up in so little time. This race is really waning very, very quickly, even if we get some cautions. Here comes JT to the inside of the 4.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn went almost into a wall trying to get clean air on the nose just to avoid Beckner's wake. Beckner kind of drove him up the track as well, but he's able to keep in front of JT Poole. He just can't find a way to battle Beckner for real right now. Now Beckner goes the way topside. Hearn goes to the middle. He's got to run all over the bumper of the 28 again. Just can't get alongside. He's going to go to the bottom for real this time, though.
Tucks back in. Drives in hard on the outside. Oh, he's going to get into the back of him. Yeah, that was close.
Let's not forget Gateway, that end of last season. Those two.
Who could? Oh, trouble.
Oh, Nutzel. Oh, they saved it. My gosh, how did they not crash? That was
Scioli's middle. Look out.
Oh, that's not going to work.
Gosh, I can't believe they didn't just wad that up.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know either, but meanwhile, Beckner's ripping that top side at the front. He's got a run on Jake Matheson, but nowhere to go with it. Not enough of a run, really, anyways. First side-by-side battle right now is Curhan and Bronson Stafford. Looks like Curhan got stuck behind Justin Sogak. We haven't talked about him all night. He's gone 24th of a top 10. Now they hit out of the corner.
Yeah, Bronson Stafford's been in the top 15 pretty much exclusively tonight. He's had a very nice run.
Right back to the top. Hearn just counteracting. It's just all arrow racing right now between those two. Beckner is just trying to run his line, and Hearn just trying to avoid it. Beckner's going to shove Matheson down the backstretch into the bumper of John Hall, basically.
It's just feel the understeer there. The truck kind of bounced. Couldn't get back on the throttle as early as he would have liked. Playing in the arrow wake of those front two trucks. Again, here's JT opening the inside on the bottom of Cameron Hearn.
Just not much he can do with Hearn just giving him the bottom, but when Beckner runs that bottom, it hurts JT Poole even more. Just nothing he can do as Hearn gives him a little bit of a weave just to prove, hey, you're not passing me. Just to show him, I guess. But meanwhile, at the front, just not much of a battle for the lead yet. John Hall has really not had to fend off Matheson that much this run so far.
Sam Fontaine and Anna Sogak. Given how much net contact we've had tonight, I'm shocked that they got that close and didn't have that contact. A little bit deeper, Kyle Seek running high with Jason Dalton in the 0-2. We haven't really mentioned his name a lot tonight. 23rd up to 16th. He's just kind of had an okay evening. There he is.
He's been all night.
Yeah.
And Scioli's just trying to avoid. Look at everyone in front of Scioli kind of running that middle, giving him some clean air, but it's still so hard to get that pass completed. That's kind of what happened at the end of last night. That bottom line just kind of lost its grip over time. That made it really hard to make anything happen. I think that's why we're seeing so many drivers start to run that middle line. Beckner's running the third line. The top two still running the bottom line, but I think it's really almost a guessing game for John Hall right now. He's just trying to keep Matheson on his bumper instead of over or under him, as these two will go side by side to the end at this rate for fourth.
Normally JT's got a huge grin on his face, but he is focused right now. Eric Wineland's right behind him.
Wineland's probably, we'll see who he goes with here to push. He's going to go bottom. I think he sees Hurd's a little slower, but saying that he gets back in line. And Slaughter almost ran over Mason Kane because of that. Here comes Matheson for the lead. He's on the right rear of John Hall, maybe. Nope, Hall gets back in line and pushes a 0-3 up ahead, but Wineland's going to shove Poole on the bottom in turn 3 for this position. That's tight.
Yeah, they had a little bit of cross velocity there, kind of sweeping across the rear bumper. I thought that might turn him. They got away with it. Ooh, Kane, I think, just scraped the wall out of 4.
We had a crash in turn 1. Shane Wolf and Swan had a crash last lap, but they kept it straight and stayed green. Meanwhile, this is a 3-truck battle for the lead now.
And I think whoever prevails in this little second pack is going to be a threat. Look at the 31 turning down underneath Wineland. 20 to go.
It's going to be pretty tight to the end here, as it's hard to settle these battles without making contact when they're this tight. But Hearn is doing everything he can in that middle lane to try to keep this for himself. And now he's going to have help from Wineland, who looked to be outside of Hearn, just won't get there. This is really going to start to stack things up. Kind of what we saw cause that last yellow when Wineland was kind of stacking things up. They're going to make contact.
Oh. That was almost disaster. This is getting very interesting, very spicy, very quickly.
Yeah, and Hearn doored him back, saying, hey, stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine, but I don't think this is done quite yet, as we're getting that stack-up effect on that middle groove again, and JT Poole, he doesn't get this done, he's going to go backwards. Here comes Wineland. He wants to get to the outside of Hearn, but he just won't have a run to do so.
Trying to get that bottom line to stick. Look at the 21 building momentum here. That's going to complete this pass for the 4 on the 26. Boom, there it is.
We'll see if Hearn goes bottom this time or tries to still defend Wineland's line. And yeah, he tried to defend, but Wineland tries to go higher. There's just not enough up there quite yet.
Jake Matheson almost had the lead away out of 4. Was just 400ths away from having it, but tucks back in behind John Hall.
He went high in 1 and 2, got the run into 3, then Hall kept the top in 3 and 4, and Matheson couldn't complete it. But this time, this might be too big of a run to defend if you're John Hall.
Here comes Matheson to the inside, big sweeping lunge, and Matheson is going to get through, and he retakes the lead here with 17 laps to go.
Yeah, that could be it there. I don't know if John Hall has anything left to really battle him back. I'm kind of shocked. I think John Hall needed to play better defense there. We know that's Matheson's move. He did it last night. They just kind of gave him that line. He'll get back to his inside. I just don't think he'll pass him back on that bottom line.
Michael Curhan getting used up all the way to the outside of the 3-wide battle here for 9th place rather. Justin Sogak, Curhan, Sam Fontaine, and Bronson Stafford back here.
Yeah, Skyler can do nothing but watch here as he's just back in the 14th position. Just trying to hope maybe he can avoid a crash and get the positions instead. But looking unlikely to get back into the top 5 for sure, because that's why I can't believe he really repaired that damage. But either way, he's trying to just get through these guys and pick them off one at a time. Look at Wineland. He's going to go slide job on Cameron Hearn, and they made contact there. That was a huge move, but it worked. Now Slaughter's on the bumper. He can't go anywhere. JT Poole back to the bottom. And Cameron Hearn's going to go for the same move back. This can't work.
Big lunge. Crossover from Wineland out of turn 4. And unfazed.
Oh, they hit.
Oh,
they saved it.
Slip and slide there. And you would never know that just happened by looking at Wineland. Just clinical. But here comes JT.
This is what JT Poole needs now. We'll see if he tries to pull that move. I think Cameron Hearn's laughing. He loves it. I don't know if Wineland loves it as much. As Mason Kane just gave a hip check to Slaughter in the background, as now we'll go 2x2 again. Those top 3 are gone because of this as well.
Coming to 13 laps to go. Brad Slaughter Jr. got a front row seat to all that, and it's hurt Cameron Hearn the most.
Yeah, it's kind of what we expected to happen. You can run that top line longer on the tires, but it will wear out if you're not careful, and I think that's what we're seeing. He's losing control as Poole's going to try to slide up in front of Wineland, but he did not have enough overlap to do so. Just cannot get this position away.
Singling out Justin Munsell. Fighting back into 11th. Make that 10th contact. Curhan sideways. Saves it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they all checked up because of Cameron Hearn into a corner, and Munsell just fired it in there. Curhan couldn't do anything either, but that might help Skyley get some more positions.
Yeah, Skyley is going to get a top 10 out of this, but he could have easily won this race. I just question, even with the damage, how much was it really costing him? JT's back alongside Wineland.
He just can't do enough here. He needs to get a run on him out of a corner and just hope to slide him. He's diving it hard into a corner, just trying to slide him, and I think he might have the move done here. Yes, he does.
He's got it, but Wineland's got a pretty big run. What does he do with it? He's going to sit on it.
Like, the Poole kind of blocked the run a little bit there, but I don't know if Wineland really wanted to battle it anymore. Meanwhile, for the lead, Madison went back to the top side. John Hall went back to the bottom. in a little bit of a battle. I thought this was over, but maybe not quite. But John Hall can't get it back. Now here comes Beckner. He'll go to swooping to the bottom.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time. Beckner knows he's got to get one of these before he can get the other. See him checking that right side window, see where John Hall is. But you can't linger with this battle. You've got to get it done and move on to the leader. If you battle John for more than a lap or two, Matheson's gone.
And well, Scioli's up to 8th. Cameron Hearn is dropping like a rock. Sam Fontaine got into Justin Munsell last lap, put him at the back of this pack.
At Beckner.
Look at
Slide job on John Hall, and they switch spots.
No, Cameron Hearn. Oh, crash! Fontaine's around. No, not yet. Now he'll spin, and this will probably bring out the caution. Yes, it does. With 10 laps to go, caution's out.
Oh, this changes everything.
And now it comes down to tire strategy. That was wild.
I thought it was coming sooner or later. And
I thought it was coming sooner, not later.
Yeah, let's go back a little bit further and see how this brews. 4 drops to the inside, and then the 61 and 71 get together.
Oh, man.
Did an amicable job, but yeah, of keeping it from being worse. But
yeah, not coming back into the line of traffic. Fambro just kind of picked the wrong lane there, but it really looked like Bronson Saber just came off the wall. But look at that move to the left saved Munsell and a number of other cars. Just like I said, Fambro just picked the wrong lane, got some right front damage out of it, and Cameron Hearn somehow avoids it as well. But Stafford kind of came off that outside wall to turn him there, which is what causes, 7th or 8th yellow. And now we come to pit strategy, and does everyone take 4 tires?
What do you do?
If you're Scioli, you might want to take 2 tires for the track position.
Everybody pit. Everybody pit.
Oh, you won't stay out. The tires are... I'm trying to look at the tire where last time by John Hall was about, I think, close to 2 seconds off his last time. Ryan Nowicki stays out, but I don't see that happening. Maybe he'll pit next time. We'll see if we get 2 tires.
I'm not sure what I would... We saw 2 tires work last night, but it wasn't because it was quicker.
Oh, we're seeing 2 tires. Looks like Beckner, Matheson did it too.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of 2 tires. Matheson did it as well, and Beckner and Hall did it. Lauder, Poole, Scioli,
Look at this mess leaving pit lane.
Don't make contact. They could see a crash on exit.
Yeah, so Beckner's gonna... I imagine Nowicki's gonna pit because he needs... I think he needs... Well, maybe he doesn't need to, but...
He probably would be better off. I don't know if this would work for... This wouldn't work for any of the front runners. This is a very bold move if he does it. You could also hope for a caution before you get to turn 1.
Well, okay, so that's where I think Nowicki's strategy could work. Is if we get quick yellows, which are very likely in this circumstance. Where was he running before? It didn't even register. So
back.
If he finishes top
29th.
10, yeah, so great. So if he finishes better than 20th, I'm calling this a win. But he's going to pit. Ah, dang it! I thought he was going to try it. I mean, I don't recommend ever doing that, but
no.
With 8 laps to 7, you're going to have what 5, 6 laps to go. I think you could make that work and end up higher than you were, on the off chance you don't just get, your truck blown through by the time you get to turn 1.
Yeah, it might be easier to see who took the 4 tires compared to 2 tires.
Yeah, so the only 4-tire takers in the top 15 were Michael Curhan and Justin Ennis-Sogak. The only others in the top 20 are Colin Fambro, and then Cameron Hearn and Therian are 21st and 22nd. And then basically beyond that, it's all 4-tire stops. So that basically means that everybody in the top 11 is on 2. So unless you're going to drive through 11 trucks, I think your winner's coming from the 2-tire camp.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have enough laps to showcase the 4 tires. That's why I think I do agree with the 2-tire call, because you get the track position in a short amount of time. In this case, the front runners took 2 tires as well. So in reality, you were just keeping track position by taking 2 tires. But just you restart with 5 to go. I don't think the 2 extra left side tires would have made enough of a difference. So I think this is the right call. I don't think we'll see Curhan get up there.
Yeah, I think it is as well. We shall see how things pan out.
What a recovery this would be for Jake Matheson to take this win.
Or Scioli after his...
or Scioli.
Back up to 5th.
It'll be third row. You'd rather be on row number 2, but saying that, the outside lane has not been going a lot of the night. I wonder if Madison takes the outside here.
I don't think I would. You think he will?
No, I don't think he will.
Got it.
He
okay, I was going to say.
He'll take the bottom. Just to see that outside lane. I wondered if he would do it just to see the outside lane more side by side out of 2, but not the case.
How about Brad Slaughter Jr.?
Yeah.
He's put himself in a prime spot.
Quiet night too, for the most part. He'll be in it. John Hall will try to get his teammate back. Scioli's just gonna try to do something. It's probably gonna take something drastic to win this from 5th in 5 laps, but we've seen crazier things happen. JT Poole's there as well alongside him. And a few more drivers at the back half of the top 10 who have had great runs tonight, like Eric Wineland, like Bronson Stafford. Mason Kane, all the way from 30th, he's in the top 10.
So we're told that Travis's wheel is mounted to a bar, which is why it's moving around. The day that he straps that thing down to a desk that doesn't move,
it's over.
It's over. I think that's got to be the most distracting thing ever.
Jeremy Miller DM'd me. He said something about that. I didn't notice it until really last few laps ago. But yeah, that's a lot of movement, and that takes so much concentration to be fast and have that as a distraction. That's pretty impressive.
Same thing with monitors moving around. But yeah, 5 laps to go is the distance. 1 green-white checkered. We will go to green-white checkered if we get a caution, basically instantly. Matheson and Beckner are your control trucks. Green flag back in the air. 5 to go from
Mason
Charlotte.
Kane's around.
And as quick as it started.
No caution yet.
No, it's not going to trigger one. He's in the dirt.
Oh, Cameron Hearn's on the apron. Now they're crashing. Senesac's in the wall hard. And now we're going to have a green-white checkered.
Wow. So again, had I been Ryan Nowicki, I might still be leading this race. But he didn't play that.
No, yeah, that was never going to work after Mason Kane got spun. I counted 5 wide in the turn number 1.
Let's see what actually happened to Kane.
Didn't really see what happened to Mason Kane, but obviously 2 tires. There's going to be some wheel spin. Scioli didn't go. And then Kyle Sieg just look at the gap Scioli leaves here. And then Kyle Sieg just nowhere to go.
And then 4 wide.
Up ahead. No, that's 5 wide. More Nick code, but it's 5 wide, so I'm not really going to call that Nick code.
Holy, Cameron Hearn was committed to that.
It worked. To be fair to him, it worked, but he kind of... I don't even know if that's legal. I remember hearing in the All-Star race that you could not go below that line to advance, but maybe I'm wrong. He is fully below it.
And then Senesac gets turned into the wall there. That's a big hit. And he did a nice job. See that wheel turn left? Keeps him up against the wall.
Yeah.
Did a good job making it as minimal as it could be. Yeah, the legality of that's interesting. That's got to be a specific rule book check because that would normally be fine. But if Area has addressed it in the past, then...
I don't... Maybe it was an all-star rule, but I feel like I remember... Maybe it was more of a dogleg specific rule because we've seen moves down there. But he also did go below the dogleg. So I don't know. Maybe it was an all-star specific rule. It's just a little interesting. But in fairness to him, I think he was one of those drivers on 4 tires. It did work. He's up to 16th now. Curhan went up to 10th, but other than that, really no movement.
All right, so we're going to go overtime here tonight. Been an interesting evening. Stark contrast to what we saw last night, and I think it'll be in contrast to what we see on Thursday. I expect Thursday to look more like Monday as far as how the race will go. Cars will get spread out probably easier than they did on Monday.
Most likely.
And we should be getting an answer on the I'm just curious. I don't know that what he did contributed to any crash, but I'm just curious for future reference on whether or not that move below the blue line is legal. To be in all fairness, the blue line hadn't started yet before the corner.
I mean, you can still see a blue line in the front stretch, can you not? There's still a line.
I mean, but then the line stops. So if the rule is you got to stay above the blue line.
He was under it before the line stopped.
Yeah, I suppose
he stayed
that's
under
true.
both. He stayed under both blue and white lines.
I'm just playing all the technicalities.
I'm not trying to be the snitch. Snitches get stitches and all that. I'm just saying I remember there being a conversation about doing that in the All-Star race. And I don't know if it's just because it was a Gen 4 car or what, but I remember something being said about that. And I remember being like, oh, I mean, that seems pointless. Clearly it's not because it happened tonight, but I remember being like, oh, I don't think that's going to come into play. But maybe it will come into play. We did get word from Ryan Olsen they're checking on it, so we'll see what the call is there, as Curran's giving us a nice stare. He doesn't know what's happening.
Boy.
Is he part of that 5 wide? Very well might have been.
Not sure.
No, it was behind him by a few rows. He doesn't know what's happening, though.
Well, it's always fun to see which drivers have another monitor where they're keeping an eye on what's going on, and those that are completely oblivious. A lot of itch scratching happening at the moment as well.
It's scratch when you're nervous, I guess. Eric's praying to the gods, give me a good finish. Looking up right there. Yeah.
As soon as we pulled away, let's try that again. Every time.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Hi. Thumbs up from Eric Wineland. He's running P7 right now.
He is P7. It's been a great run for him, and he qualified there too. He didn't have to climb to the field. He's just been consistently top 10 tonight, which is what he needs. He's not. I don't think he's too low in the points. He's 22nd. This would be if he can hold on his 4th top 5 of the season. It'd be. It's been a solid season so far. Here we get the conclusion in a lap's time, or hopefully 2 laps, 3 time.
Yeah, we're gonna know. We will not get another restart after this, so this will be our final attempt at it. If we get a caution, race is over. If we get to the white, we'll probably see all hell break loose from there.
It hasn't already?
Well, how many levels of hell are there in Dante's Inferno?
7 maybe. My guess is 7. Eric Wineland's P7. Coincidence? I think not.
7th race of the season, 7th place. Lucky number 7s.
Gosh. Who started 7th? David Weishart. He's 34th.
Well, that didn't go
He's
so
winning
hot.
this race.
Again, my safe pick to win this race is running 6th. So I'm not doing so hot either in the number 7
yeah,
truck.
I did pick Jake Matheson. I almost forgot.
Yeah. So again, I'm losing points week in and week out.
You're not as far behind as you are on Monday nights, so
yeah,
you got plenty of time to get back to me. Monday nights, I don't know. But you did miss a race, didn't you?
Well, I forgot to make a pick the other night because I was busy solving tech problems, and then I think there was 1 or 2 other races that I forgot to let myself make a pick. So I think I get 3 next time.
You better get one of those.
Spray and pray, right?
Yeah.
Out of turn 4, pace cars off. 2 laps to go here from Charlotte, wrapping things up from the 7th round of the season before the winter break for the Area Truck Series. Matheson's the control truck. 2 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Beckner.
Then they're still dooring. They're 4 wide. That's just not going to get
Crash.
them.
Weiland's
Yep,
around.
there it is.
Everybody spins, crashes. Caution. Race
huge.
over.
That's 2/3 of the field in that crash. Jake Matheson's going to win, and they're still crashing in turn number 1. Look at this.
Beckner ends up 5th.
With damage, he was the first one. He was the first one to really get out of whack. That's going to really just completely change up the finishing order with everyone being involved in that. Cameron Hearn might have gotten the worst of it. He's still in turn 1. And he will not get back going.
Wow. After the night he had.
We'll see him going by here. This is everyone. We don't race back to the line, but you wouldn't know it. This is how many trucks were in this wreck. They're all catching up as Hearn resets, and he will finish far down the order.
41 laps led tonight, and he's got nothing to show for it.
And same thing for Eric Wineland, who we just talked about. I feel
Oh, and James
responsible for
Scioli,
that.
30th place. RIP the points I was going to take. Oh.
In his points, he's 20th in points. And
Yeah.
once again, he's not going to get the finish. Wineland's not going to get the finish. Look at all the drivers coming out around turn 2 with broken suspensions. We definitely have to take a look at that. But at the front of the field, the ones who survived will be rewarded with a good finish, like Slaughter in 3rd. Matheson somehow recovers to maybe takes checkered flag.
Well, a few weeks off to recollect everyone's thoughts for the Area Truck Series, but Jake Matheson gets his 3rd win of the season in the Miller Racing 52. John Hall 2nd. Brad Slaughter Jr., third place tonight in the number 8. JT Poole, fourth. Beckner, fifth. And Stafford, Curhan, Anna Sogak, Tom Bourne, and the rest of the field. Let's go back and watch this all over again as far as the restart. So this all starts
really with Travis Beckner. This is, oh yeah, he just lost it on his own, and then Poole checks up, Skyler into the back, then they're all over the place. There's no way to get out of this without a big crash, and Shane Wolf gets away with it. He's like the last one to avoid it, him and Michael Curhan. Everyone else behind where that 0-1 is gets involved. Look at this pile up.
Oh, the 16 took a pretty hellacious hit there as well, the 4. Yeah, this is, this reminds me of that Atlanta crash a number of years ago on the restart. You know the one I'm talking about, Jeff Gordon in it, I think?
There's like on a turn 2?
No, it was on the front straight. I can't remember what year it was.
I could probably remember. Yeah.
Maybe it was more recent than Jeff Gordon's career. But
I remember Jimmy won at Dover. That's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
Just people piling in.
And there's no incentive to stop here, really. You need to get through it.
Oof. Another hard hit. Yeah, I mean, you could see Mason Kane comes in late. I mean,
who was
Fontaine
that fired by on the bottom and all that? Was it 0-1?
Yeah, that's Shane Wolf, who was like the last one to get through. But because of all the people trying to catch up, it's scoring him 33rd place. So there's going to be a lot of sorting after the results after this race for sure, because there's a lot of people who didn't get the finishes that they probably should have gotten.
Well, we didn't get a burnout last night. We did get one tonight. I think he's pretty much wrapped up with it, though. Let's have a look at our race results here and finish things out. Matheson is your race winner after a dramatic race here at Charlotte. Different dramatic than we saw last night. John Hall, Slaughter, JT Poole, Travis Beckner, the rest of the top 5. Curhan and Balliet, the Fords in the top 10 there, Connor.
Yeah, Miller Racing just asserting their dominance again. They pull away with a bigger team points lead. They could have this wrapped up weeks in advance at this rate. But Slaughter, his big climb, gets the 3rd. Poole and Beckner somehow survived through all that to get top 5s. But yeah, Curhan gets the 7th, Anna Sogak. Tom Bourne, he was destroyed early on. He somehow got through that to take an unofficial 9th place. That is an incredibly fortunate turn of events for his race,
I'll say. And then looking down the rest of the top 20 here, here's some trucks that didn't get the night they deserved. David Weishart, one of them. Mason Kane. How about Ryan Swan, 18th? After the night he had, I'm sure he'll take that.
Yeah, a few drivers there. Another few drivers we didn't talk about, like Jeremy Brown. He was in some crashes, 13th. Same thing for Garrett Grant, 12th. Weishart, he went a lap down repairing his damage. He got back to 15th. And Mason Kane, Caps got back up there. But yeah, that, like you were talking about, Ryan Swan, very fortunate to get the 18th. And Matthew Rodriguez, I believe he's racing on a torn meniscus if he gets 19th.
Yeah, that's tough. And looking down the rest of the field here, finishing out your results, Sean Peachin, 21st, Kyle Sieg, 25th. We saw James Scioli lead a whole bunch of laps. Ill-fated pit strategy. Don't know what that was all about. 29th for the number 7 tonight.
Yeah, he'll definitely be thinking back on that. That's really what kind of caused his downfall. He did get to 5th, in fairness to him, before the restarts, before that final restart. But definitely kind of put him on the back burner, put him behind the 8 ball, and somewhat contributed to a 29th place. And he's going to lose more points to that top 12 cut line. It is really getting into a point where he might have to start worrying a little bit about him.
Yeah, and then looking down the rest of the field, Nathan Jump, Austin Gakjone, and a handful of others out with issues and crash damage that put them down at the bottom of the order. Greg Mitchell, Mark Brannigan Jr. out with that big crash early on. We do have Brad Slaughter Jr. joining us now, the number 8 Lumar Tundra. Brad, hello.
Hey,
tonight was a quiet night for you. We didn't talk about you a lot, but a top 3 in the chaos that was the last 15, 20 laps there. I'm sure you're stoked to finish about as high as you ran all night.
Yeah, I'd like to report myself marked safe from the area truck race. No, I'm just kidding. That was a good time. Honestly, as treacherous as it may have looked, it was actually a really good race as far as the new, I guess, oval refresh, we call it. Me and the guys down there in the broadcast station were just talking. It's probably the best Charlotte oval race that we've ran on the service, just as far as raceability and being able to make moves there. And I completely goofed up my qualifying effort and had to make some moves to get up there towards the front. And like I said, was able to make some moves and pass people and use the outside, not chew your stuff up as bad as it used to in the past. So Really stoked about that. Really enjoyed the race. Like I said, Lumar Matco Toyota was hooked up. Got a good points finish for the DWR boys. I know Bryce and Garrett them had some tough luck. David too. But I think Garrett rebounded there to about a 12th or so we'll take it. I don't lose too much ground to them Miller Racing guys, but they were quick tonight. And but fun race overall, man. I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch, Brad. Congratulations, top 5 run and a 3rd place. The highest you ran all night was the last lap. So congrats on that, and happy holidays. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, happy holidays to you guys too, and shout out to everybody tuning in. I know I got grandparents and all tuned in, so appreciate everybody watching. Love y'all, and we will see everybody after the holidays.
All right, Brad. Thanks so much.
See you.
And moving on now to John Hall, brings it home in 2nd place. A solid team result tonight, John, but you were up there, led some laps, and had some good battles, and came home 2nd, so you can't be upset with how things worked out, but I know you would have liked one spot better.
Yeah, of course, always want to come out and win the race, but I was happy with the pace of show tonight. Charlotte's always been a good place for me, so happy for the Miller Racing guys. We got another one, too, capped off sweeping Charlotte for the past 2 weeks, so looking forward to going into the holiday weeks.
Yeah, take me through the challenges tonight of the track, chasing it around a little bit. I've been so curious to see how the track transitions with this new dynamic surface. Is it something that you could feel? Did it change how these trucks drove here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You could definitely feel it once you got like 10 laps into the run. Everybody's still kind of afraid of burning their stuff up, going up against the wall early, but I found out last week in an official session with the ARCA cars that running the wall in 3 and 4 is something we've never done before, and I was able to make it work at least there at the end. So it was definitely a great time doing it. Would have liked to see a little more green flag action to really see how it would have done, but yeah.
John Hall, 2nd place tonight, the number 03. Congrats, man, and happy holidays.
Yeah, thank you too. Happy to have Area Shop on the truck, Calusa Pines, Huckett Films, and everybody else with the Miller Racing guys. Happy to round out this first half of the season really good.
All right, John. Hey, congrats, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
And Jake Matheson is making a habit out of it, talking to us on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. Jake, congratulations on your 3rd win of the season. This one came in a bit of drama. There's a lot more yellows tonight than we saw last night. Totally different strategies and having to approach this race differently, but really good, solid battles up front. But it seemed like the trucks were almost tidally locked, magnetized to each other in those battles. It seemed so hard to get clear, but you were able to do it and win this race.
Yeah, I will say this was absolutely by far the most fun Charlotte truck race I've had. This new oval refresh they got going on, it really shined tonight. It shined a little bit last night, but tonight it was in full display, and it made all the racing so fun, so diverse. And as the race went on, we went higher and higher and higher, and the grip was there. So it made the race really fun. And about halfway through, when I made that call to stay out, not halfway, like 30 laps in, stayed out on the old tires trying to save a set. And, I was going to look like a genius or an idiot, and I looked like a genius for about 8 laps, then the yellow came out. So there went the advantage, but everything worked out. Wicked fun race, and another 1-2-3, or sorry, well, almost 1-2-3. Travis had a little mishap there, but another 1-2 for Miller. Good job to John and Brad.
Jake, congratulations. It was super fun to watch tonight, and enjoy the holidays, as we said last night. And I don't think we'll see you on Thursday, will we? Otherwise, we might have to talk to you again.
No, not this Thursday, but eventually I am going to hit up one of those pro races. I've been watching those broadcasts, and they look like a lot of fun. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Real quick, just want to thank Calusa Pines, Celsius, Area Shop, Alien Gear, Huckett Films, and Miller Racing for everything. And not next week. Or is it 2 weeks off or 1 week?
At least 2, I think. We're back on we got the fun race, the charity race, then we're back on the 8th is the week that we return.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to be there for that charity race. But until then,
we'll see you.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you. Thanks so much. All right, and wrapping things up here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, Connor, tonight was super, super fun racing, and as the drivers have told us, the oval refresh working quite well. Just interesting to see it kind of transition throughout the night, see the different lines get used, and all in all, I think it seems like, at least from the front runners, scathing, very positive reviews from this new change to the oval side of the service.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag. It's actually not a bad update, I would say. But yeah, definitely a decent race all around. We saw that top line come in. Really, all the way through the field, people were using that top side. Matheson and Cameron Hearn were probably the biggest aggressive users of that top line. And it still seems that it wears out the tires more than it should compared to what you would be doing tire-wise if you were running the bottom. But it's definitely more usable, more of a viable option. We saw that's how Matheson got this race won. He passed on John Hall with 17 laps to go. Really ended up playing into his race win, and the 2-tire call at the end just to keep track position kept him up there, and a big comeback win after what looked like a really bad strategy. He's able to pull it off, and going into the break, it's pretty obvious he's the front runner for the title, while the guy who we thought would be another front runner, Scioli, is in a bit of a bind, probably outside the top 20 completely after this race. Multiple points, a lot of points behind the cut line. There's a number of really fast drivers who are gonna have to get something going here for this after this winter break, and they got some big driving to do for sure.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun to watch. Of course, we do have a couple more streams this week. We'll end on Thursday with the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. That will wrap things up here from Charlotte. And Apollo, very tired and very shy. We're going to wrap things up tonight. We'll see you tomorrow and on Thursday for the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. Kyle Heyer with Connor Horn. We'll see you next time.